Yeah! Ah! Yo, 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 yo. Ah! What the fuck is gonna y'all doing? How y'all feel? Ah! How y'all? You want to fit check real quick? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. They don't make shit. Come on, bro. Taylor told me I got to start dressing on stream. I said like the ranch, like a Caesar salad. You want me dressing like an Italian? What type of dressing do you want, my friends? So I went with the collared polo is what I went with. Welcome back. All right. Good news or bad news first? Just tell me. Just tell me. Good news or bad news first? What's wrong with the mic? What do you mean? Something wrong with the mic? No, nothing's wrong with the mic. Good news or bad news first? Just tell me right now. Just ask right now. I'll just do it. Just get out the way. Just get out the way. What do you want? I don't want to say it. Okay. Before I say the bad news, I need everyone in this stream to say W. Everyone in the chat say W streamer. I need like 100 W streamers before I tell you the bad news. I'll tell you the bad news, but I need 100 W streamers right now. I need it right now. I need W streamers. Like, we love you, Threadguy. We love you. Come on, keep it going, keep going, keep going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's no stream on Thursday. I'm sorry. 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 I am getting a injection into my shoulder, bro. I'm getting an injection into my shoulder. Okay, they're gonna take a 10-inch needle. This, I know what 10 inches looks like. Okay, I can eyeball 10. Can eyeball 10 inches. They're getting 10 inches and a needle, and they're putting an ultrasound reader on it, and they're jamming it into my labrum, bro. Shit's no fuck. It's not a fucking joke, man. It's not a fucking joke. So yeah. There's no stream on Thursday, and I'm sorry. Okay, but what I can promise you is my labrum. Also, any first shouters in here? Any first shouters before I do roll call? Any first shouters? It's an intermission to surgery. Like, I'm gonna try to avoid surgery because if I do, by the way, just I want you guys to know, if I do surgery, I'm missing like multiple streams. So you want one or you want multiple? Everyone wants multiple. So we're gonna do one. We're gonna miss one. I can't get drafted. No, I have a medical record. I'm undraftable. I'm not a first round pick. I'm like I'm Isaiah Austin. Okay, the league could draft me, but I can't play. I'm like Isaiah Austin. So I'm gonna miss one day. I'm sorry. That's so selfish, man. Some people plan their whole day around your stream. So that's happening. I'm missing stream. Second, the good news comes after. And the good news, right? Bad news, good news. It's a barbell. And the good news is that I forgot to do roll call yesterday, so I get to do it right now. Roll call. Yep. Live Life TV. Welcome back to the stream. Kevin, what's good? Darth Yoda, what's good? Caleb, what's good? Digimoney, what's good? Store, what's good? Jackson Ray, what's good? Alex. By the way, I'm not gonna lie, Jackson Ray, I was thinking about you last night. I'm like, damn, I usually say Jackson Ray 07. I don't remember saying yesterday. I'm like, damn, did we break the streak? I was like laying in bed. I was thinking about you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, did he break his streak? Crypto DJ Life, what's good? Yonan, what's good? Vino, what's good? Digi, what's good? Juice, what's good? Any first chatters in here as well? Tom Harvard, what's good? Katsu, what's good? Luke, what's good? Ader, what's good? Levi, what's good? Viblet, what's good? Moncop Maxi, what's good? Poca, Cole, Muddy, Bloom, Sax, Teo, Alex NGMI, other Alex, K112, Teo, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Kevin, what's good? All right. I was there for 10 minutes, had to leave. Good. I'm glad you didn't break the streak. Just don't break the streak, bro. I don't care what you do. Just don't break the fucking streak. Do not break the streak. So, what are you supposed to do Thursday? I don't know, brother. What you're supposed to do Thursday. But what we're supposed to do today is we have some serious... Jack, what's good? My fault, Jack. We have some very serious situation monitoring that has to happen today. Okay, so I'm gonna... This is what I think we're gonna do, is that war... Miss DJ, I'll never skip you. I will never skip you. Okay, we have some serious situation monitoring to do today. Alts are awesome. No, they're not. You look nice in pink. Thanks. Appreciate that. We have some serious monitoring of the situation to do today. And what I think we're going to do for order is like, okay, yesterday was only the situation we had to monitor. Now we have a bunch of situations. Like we have like 5. A bunch of AIs, a bunch of cryptos. There's a bunch of situations to monitor today that aren't just war, even though that is the overwhelming, most important thing we have to talk about. So what I think I'm going to do is monitor that situation last. Because I have like, dude, Professor Jang dropped a new video. It's 50 minutes long, and I really want to watch the whole thing on stream. I was going to watch it off stream, and then I'm like, wait, we might as well just do it as a group. So I want to watch that. There's a new Breaking Points video that's really good. I want to watch. Is it worth watching? You watched it twice. Is it worth watching on stream? Wander, thanks for the gifted. Is it worth watching on stream? I think it is. So I'm going to try to get through everything as fast as possible. Because they're all sort of, what's the video about? Bro, what? What do you mean? What's the video about? What do you think? Game theory number 9, the US-Iran war, 12 hours ago. What do you mean? What is it about? It's like must-see TV is what it is. It's absolute must-see TV. And I was thinking that we were going to watch, I was going to watch it off stream. And then I'm like, fuck my life. I might as well just watch it with you guys. So I have like a lot of stuff. US-Iran wise that I want to watch. But the thing about that is once we get down these rabbit holes, we get really like, we go far, bro. Like it's like an hour video takes a long time to get through. And so this is the intro, by the way. This is the intro. Flood, what's good, bro?
I hope everyone had a nice break, and welcome back to the end of the world.
This dude makes Alex Jones look like a...
So as you know, World War III has started. The United States and Israel have started to attack.
Wait, look at the intro. Look at the intro. It's like, me, please don't be weird at dinner. Me, 1 drink later.
I hope everyone had a nice break, and welcome back to the end of the world. So as you know, World War III has started. The United States and Israel have started to attack Iran. And we are now in the 4th day of this war. And we can expect this war to last for many weeks, possibly also for many years. But I promise you that after this war is done, the world will never be the same again.
That's the first clip I've seen of it. I didn't even watch this I didn't even watch the intro before this video. How did it feel getting frame mogged at dinner by threadguy fam? No, it's called getting check mogged. It's called getting wallet mogged. So we'll get to this. Do I really believe that? No. I mean, not all of it. But the one thing that I do believe as a complete novice in geopolitics that's learning everything live on stream basically is that the notion that this thing is going to be over in 72 hours feels really far-fetched. And that's basically, the market is saying it's going to end in 72 hours. Trump is saying it's going to end in 72 hours. Sneaky headlines and the way things are playing out does not say it's going to end in 72 hours. And that's kind of what we need to figure out how to position, really. Is like, is this thing going to be over in 3 days or not? So that's what we have to figure out. And so I'm going to do this let's get through some stuff first. I want to talk about Bitcoin. I want to rant about Michael Saylor. And then I really want to watch that video. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to just watch it right now. I want to watch it so bad. So let's start. I would just start with like a rant. Okay. I want to start with a rant. I'll use this as my frame. Claude, thanks for the gifted. I'll use this as my frame, but it's not really related. Live the Life TV, thanks for the 5 gifted. Okay. Citadel Securities retail activities reaching levels never before seen. From January 2nd to February 13th, average daily notional traded on his platform is up nearly 60% year over year. This really isn't related to what I want to rant about, but it is somewhat related. I had a better tweet, but I can't find it. I'm just going to say that the human brain, the human experience, is not programmed to be able to deal with 100 canon events happening everywhere all at once at the exact same time, hitting you right in the fucking face that have political, social, financial, major implications on the world all at once. And so if you have extreme ADD, I'm talking disgusting levels of ADD, like they try to give you meth, they give you amphetamines when you're in 7th grade, 6th grade type of ADD. It's still probably too much, but you kind of thrive in this era. And I just, at some point, like I always used to joke about this with crypto, and I'd be like, dog, the human experience was not created to be able to withstand rotation after whipsaw, after leverage trade, after liquidation here, after rotation here, whipsaw back and forth. And then now you have to understand, like, imagine you're a crypto trader and you're looking at the world right now and like what's been thrown at us in the last like month. It's like, one, crypto market gets destroyed. Okay, so we're like dealing with the crypto market getting destroyed. And then we have major just chaos and uncertainty and unrest with everything that's happening with ICE. That happens and starts really escalating. There's protests outside all the time. You see it like escalates pretty severely. And then they're like, okay, also here's the Epstein files. Take these, right? You know, the political elite is a satanic pedo ring. Take this, have fun looking through these. Here's 6 million files. And then, oh, by the way, you just got the Epstein files, but also here's the alien files. Those are also real. And you're like, okay, thanks for the alien files. And then the next day, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're striking Iran. And we're going to war with Iran because they have, nuclear capabilities we want to stop. And then the next day it's like, oh yeah, we're actually going to war with Iran because like they were going to strike us first. And I know we said it was going to last like 3 days or like a day, but yeah, it might just like be months or years. And there's no way for you to really know. And also here's like 100 other million things that have happened all at the same time. And it's gone to the point where I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what would a normal... Like, okay, I have some of these accounts on Noties. Yeah, also, let's, like, kill Spain. And let's, like, call the Prime Minister of England, like, a retard. Let's do that. Let's say he's not Winston Churchill. I have all these accounts on Noties, like, First Squawk. Bro, I'm getting a ping on my Twitter account every 30 seconds. A new headline every 30 seconds. And so, you gotta think to yourself, like, one, what the fuck did you people do without Twitter? Like, imagine you're a trader in 2008 and the housing market is collapsing. It's in free fall. It's like a beach house on the border, like on the shore of the Outer Banks, and the tide is coming in, and it's just like this house is crazy. They just like collapse, and you have no info. What are you doing? You're like watching. You have no info. What are you doing? And second is, you can't convince me that the human experience is skilled and programmed enough to like deal with this level of just information overload at all times. It's just gotten. I feel like this particular moment is the most info we've ever had with United States implications, maybe ever. I don't know. It's like there's a war, there's the Epstein files. There's the aliens, crypto markets getting destroyed. I didn't even mention AI is taking everybody's job, right? Block fired 4,000 people. Everyone's like losing their jobs with AI. It's like a million things all at once at the same time. Only, I don't know, sub 1% of the world has any. The fact that we even can, also SpaceX IPO. The fact that we can even articulate all of the things that are going on is crazy. The fact that we even have any idea what's going on is crazy. Also, tariffs. Also, yeah, I did do my beard. There's the fact that we can even discuss what's going on is nuts to me. And if you're a normal person and you're not on Twitter, I think you just like tap out. You just say, fuck it, whatever. I don't care. I'm never going to be caught up, and I don't care. And at some point, they will do studies on. They should be studying us. Like threadguy stream viewers should submit to get a brain test done to understand like where you're at in life, because Yeah, I can't be the only one that wakes up and the first thing I do is look at my phone. It's just like, holy fuck. And so you could be jealous of the normie brain that has no idea what's going on, or you could think to yourself, how lucky am I to be cortisol spiking every second I wake up in the morning and get to monitor so many situations at once. So lucky you. I didn't fucking ask for this, but you've got it. So what the fuck are you gonna do about it? Let's get into the stream, baby. Let's start with some slop to make it funny real quick. This is, I'm not gonna lie, like, former President Bill Clinton was seen flipping through old Epstein photos, smiling and nodding at his deposition until his attorney stepped in and pulled them away. And I was thinking to myself, I'm reading these headlines and I'm like, there's no way it's that bad as the quote tweets are insinuating. And then I actually watched the video, and this brother Bill Clinton is gripping onto these pictures like he just saw his parents' wedding book for the first time. Look at this, bro. Look at him. Look how this is a photo book of him and Epstein, bro.
Let me see.
He's looking like he just saw his parents' wedding picture for the first time. Look at him.
Okay.
This brother's drooling. This brother's foaming out the mouth under oath. His brother's under oath foaming out the mouth.
Mr. President,
Look at him, bro.
we have about 5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour, so
He's like, yeah, I did that shit. And I'm too old for anyone to give a fuck.
I just want to ask
I did that shit and they started a war so nobody would know.
you some
Look at him. He's like
questions
lost.
related to the crimes committed by Mr.
No pause. No pause.
Let me see.
He's like, no, let me see. Let me see. She's like, she's trying not to make a scene. I mean, this is bad, bro.
Okay.
Mr. President, we have about 5 minutes remaining in
This
the
shit is
majority's
bad, I'm
first
sorry.
hour, so I just want to ask you some
This shit is bad. There's not that much you could. I mean, it's bad. That shit is bad. He did that shit. Whatever they're saying he did it. Okay, couple intros before we get into Bitcoin is here's another one. Some thoughts I've been having recently. Why is every conversation with 20 to 35-year-old men about looks maxing? Number one. Number two, why are PE ratios on stocks so high when the future is so uncertain? Number three, what is the win condition for the US and why does it look like a militaristic one with each day? I'm just going to say that number one, I don't exactly know what it means for the future of our social contracts in society, but basically every conversation I have with a normal person that isn't about markets is about looks maxing and peptides. Like every conversation. I don't know if this is a unanimous thing that's happening here, but basically every conversation is about looks maxing. Is this yes or no? Like, are you guys doing this? Are you guys talking about your jaws and shit? Or no? Is this happening? Or do I live in a bubble? It's really just me. Not gay. Fellas, is it gay to groom yourself and look good? Like, what? Is that gay? Why would that be gay? Dude, I've been spending a lot of time on it because it's like, just aim higher. What could be aiming higher than ascending? What do you mean aim higher? What could be higher than that? Maximizing your true potential? All I'm going to say is that ever since I fucking I said grooming yourself, like you know, a cat like licks. Like, okay, ever since I had to get this, we're gonna move on in a second. Ever since I had this shoulder thing, I'm obsessed with like modern medicine. I am. I'm like super pressed on it, and every conversation I have is about this. I'm not even the initiator on these conversations, by the way. I'm not the initiator in these conversations, but this is like society. Normal people, like normal men that are 24 years old, just want to talk about looks maxing. It's like the beautiful ones in the rat mouse experiment. It is. You go to a Rasmus stream and this is all you hear about is the Reddit, bro. I'll tell you this story real quick. We do a lot of company calls every day. We had a team call yesterday, and usually we do it at 10 p.m. and we started it at 9:30, and everybody joined 30 minutes early and researched peptides and PRP for me, bro. The whole team was on. All hands. Everybody was learning about my shoulder treatment and if I should get it. And we decided on yes, but it was hands-on. Everybody's learning about bio, and I showed up early. No, we actually started late. We started late, and I was listening to Thicky Space. But yeah, it was it's just gonna increasingly become a conversation. I'm not gonna lie. It's just increasingly become a conversation. So, okay, here's the last thing before we get into some market stuff. Is we spent a lot of time talking about this last week, the last 2 weeks. In hindsight, the entire financial establishment being upset at us alluding to the mere existence of a bear case was probably not the most bullish thing that's happened this year, and maybe had some signal value as to positioning. And if this wasn't true before, it feels increasingly true now that we have a war. We have war on our hands. I've never traded war. Okay, Russia, Ukraine, I was all in Bitcoin. I had no idea what was happening. I wasn't even monitoring the situation. Prior to that, I've never traded war. It feels like this moment right now is the most uncertain the market has been. VIX is at 23 right now. VIX volatility index got as high as 28, bro. Look at this shit on a chart. This upper wick, 28, it was up 25, 26, 27, 28% in a day. It was the highest it's been since November 25. Before that, October 25. Before that, bro, April 25. It's been a while. And it basically feels like everybody on the TL, and I know crypto Twitter isn't the most indicative of positioning, is floating around waiting for a headline to whipsaw them in one direction. And that makes trading tough. This makes it difficult to trade. It feels like everybody is floating around waiting for... There's this really good tweet I have on it. I'll tell you. I'll find it right now. This is what it feels like right now more than ever. Let's see. Here it is. Damn, this is from February 23rd. We talked about this. Current market is just large pools of capital doom scrolling Twitter all day waiting for a reason to sell. This is where we're at right now. This is where we're at right now. Waiting. And it was a meme at first, but the Citrini article legitimately dumped the market. Like, the market legitimately opened red, and specific SaaS names got crushed. DoorDash, etc., got crushed on basically fan fiction from Citrini on what he thinks could maybe happen with the AI bear case. And when you see that, I don't know, when you see $50 billion get evaporated from the stock market in a day, you maybe think, all right, people don't feel that good in these bags. And so if you want to do some bear porn before we get to Bitcoin, it still feels like the market is pricing in this war, which, again, I've never really traded war. It's going to be over in 72 hours, whatever. And the S&P hopes it is, because this thing doesn't look great, bro. This could fucking roll over here pretty easily. It's honestly crazy to me it hasn't. It's crazy to me it hasn't. I'm not gonna be a hero trying to short this thing, but yeah, this is a scary chart. This is a very scary chart. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. This is a very scary chart. It always looks like it's gonna roll over, and there's like 15 years of human conditioning that you could just buy the dip and be right. There's also 15 years of nothing ever happens. And it feels like this is being priced in, right? Like, it feels like nothing ever happens is being priced in consecutively because nothing ever does happen. But maybe at some point something happens. This is Snorlax tweet. You think at some point something happens, but we've basically had 15 years, like every 30, 35-year-old trader or whatever has never had a bad thing happen ever. And this thing looks like it's ready to fucking roll over. I don't know. Very scary chart. Very, 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 very scary chart. Professor Jang thinks something's happening. Now, my one equity exposure, by the way, surprise, is this. And it kind of looks insane, bro. No, don't let me start trading stocks effectively. It kind of looks gross. I'm not gonna lie. I almost like panicked this morning and sold it because I'm like, fuck me. Like, what am I doing? Standing in front of Iran war. But right after I announced, there was a clip of me buying Palantir. Peter Thiel came out and said that he's selling Palantir. I think for the first time since like $40. He's still 3%. And yeah, we went up today. Bro, what are they going to do? Iran can't compete. They're just straight up disorganized clowns in the desert. Yeah, but my only thing, like, we'll talk this when we get to the war. I'll move on so we can get there quicker. Is that I don't really understand what he's on social media. No. But he has to file. I don't understand what our goal is. And so, like, Iran winning is just dragging this thing out and causing at least it seems dragging this thing out and causing chaos. And so I don't really understand like what the goal is. We're just like fucking ripping missiles and ripping drones. And I've spent more time watching Fox News and listening to geopolitical videos as I ever have in my life in the last 2 days. This morning, I'm waking up first thing, cool, like war porn straight to the dome. And I still have yet to had somebody explicitly tell me like what the win condition is here. I'm just watching war porn and it's like not, yeah, it feels like shit. It's a mess. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's go to Bitcoin and crypto. We'll skip AI and we'll get into war because I want to get into war. Because I'm like desperate to just like learn about it. All right, here's what we have is all things considered. Now, I have some bad news on this. Okay, and the bad news I have on this is Saylor was a bidder, which is very unfortunate. Okay, but 2 days ago, let's see, March 3rd, or I guess as of yesterday, ETFs record $1.5 billion of inflows in the last 5 days. After another big day yesterday, biggest haul in a while. Just about all the original 10 spot ETFs seeing action too. Breadth and depth. This is after a 50% drawdown and most underwater. Even I am impressed. And so for the first time in legitimately a long time, there is real consecutive spot flows coming into Bitcoin ETFs. And you have to admit, given the circumstances, this chart looks pretty good. Here's metals, okay. On the day, silver's down 8%, crushed. Let's go longer time frame. 1 day. Silver's down 8% and kind of looks terrible, right? This is not technically a technical underwhelming chart. Gold is down 4.3%. Also, not a great chart. If we just sort of like double topped here. Not a great chart. This looks ready to roll over and die. Copper, same thing. Not great. I hate to be that guy, but not great. Platinum, same chart, not great. Uranium, also not great. And then you click on this one. You click on this one. And the Tulip King quote, which I think he stole, but it's a really good one, which is like, by the time you realize you need Bitcoin, it's too late. And look, this coin has a fucking long way to go. There is a painful, rocky, bumpy, uncertain, uncomfortable, tension-induced road ahead for anything to happen here with BTC. But this is the reaction you want to see initially. It just is. This is the initial reaction that you would like to see if you're a BTC bull. And it wants to break higher. It feels like it does. Now, in order for anything to happen here, we have to get above 70, 71, and we have to pop, and it has to get strong. Okay? But there's a few attached or like contracting narratives that make this feel a little bit interesting. Okay? The first obvious thing here is that there's geopolitical unrest and Bitcoin looks good. Looks better than gold. Like, it's acting the way that it should. Okay? One of the second things that happened is, let's see if I can find the Tulip King. Is this Tulip King made this for us? Is Dubai stock market closed right here. This is the candle on BTC. Dubai stock market closes, and yeah, Bitcoin pops. Bitcoin consolidates, pops, consolidates, kind of pops again. And look, there are some narrative violations here, but this is very unique, and it's sort of what you want to see as a BTC bull. There's also this. Bitcoin outflows stalled during internet blackout. Cumulative Bitcoin volume leaving Iranian exchanges flatlines between January 8th and January 28th. And so, I don't know, is this just like bull porn? Like, are we just like fighting for narrative like confirmation here? But just in, Iranians are buying Bitcoin in mass, withdrawing it into self-custody amid the war. Bitcoin is the flight to safety. Is like, okay, maybe, I don't know. Maybe. We also have this, which we might as well watch, from the guy who runs VanEck. And on CNBC, because narrative confirmation, might as well take it.
Limited supply at 21 million, and the halvening cycle where the Bitcoin miners who run the network get paid half the number of Bitcoin every 4 years. There's been an investing cycle. Bitcoin goes up 3 years in a row, goes down pretty massively in that fourth year. 2026 is that fourth year. So that's why we're in a Bitcoin bear market. I think we can overcomplicate it. Now, I think we're making a bottom, and this is a very nice sign of life. So
weak bull porn, but like we'll take what we can get. We'll take what we could get. Here's bear porn, and then I'll do narrative violation. Ray Dalio just went on David Freeberg, and we could maybe watch it, but I think it's like kind of boring. I don't really want to watch it, but this is FUD porn. Then we'll do narrative violation, and then I'll tell you where the portfolio is at before I move on.
Bitcoin does not have privacy. Okay, so Bitcoin does not have privacy.
It's a boomer shit, by the way.
Any transactions can be monitored, and then indirectly, perhaps.
By the way, if you're a bull, you should be thanking bears, because without bears, you don't have a fucking position. Don't ever forget that. I think Jesse Livermore said that, or I stole that from someone. If you're bullish and there's no bears, you don't have a trade.
Controlled. Central banks are not going to want to buy Bitcoin and being able to hold it. So it's not just individuals, it's institutions and so on, but most, and central banks, so that there are attributes of that. There has been some question or thoughts of the development of, new technologies like quantum computing and so on. Can there be issues regarding that? And then there's
Strategy's funding it, bro.
Who owns it and what are the other exposures that they have in their portfolio? It tends to have a pretty high correlation with the tech stocks. So from an ownership, just the supply demand is affected by if somebody gets squeezed in one thing, they sell something that whatever else they
Look at tech stocks and look at software. It's down fucking atrocious.
have. So there are those dynamics. It's a long way, and it's a relatively small market. That's a relatively controllable market. I think a lot of attention has been given to Bitcoin, but as a money, it's small in relationship to gold, and so those are the dynamics. There is only one gold.
What about silver?
He's like a less delusional Peter Schiff, I would say. And Ray Dalio has also successfully called 45 out of the last 2 bear markets. So some credit is due where it's deserved. I think he's called 74 out of the last 3 bears. Ray Dalio, but no, he writes good articles. To be fair, he does write good articles. But okay, before narrative violation, is a tweet. This is easily some of the most bullish Bitcoin price action we've seen in a while. I think a ton of people are going to get caught by surprise from the incoming squeeze past 71. Look, I'm a spot holder of BTC. I'm a forever spot holder of Bitcoin. I don't get caught up in, well, actually I do. I watch way too closely for someone that has as much exposure to this token as I do. I shouldn't watch it at the level that I do, but I watch it all day. And it doesn't get tested very often. Like we don't often have geopolitical 72, 100, 850, that'd be brutal. We don't often have geopolitical unrest to test the narrative of Bitcoin. This is like a rare thing that happens. God bless, honestly. It's a rare thing that happens. And so far, it's holding up exceptionally well. This could change tomorrow, in which case I'm going to come on stream and I'm going to say, guys, I'm going to be honest. There's nothing I can do about Bitcoin price action. Okay? It's holding up exceptionally well. It was getting the bid that you wanted to see it get today. But then we get a fucking narrative violation. And I almost couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this post come through. Donald had a good post. Should I read it real quick? I almost couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this tweet. And I deleted a tweet because I was so frustrated. This is the old tweet. No, it's an old tweet. It's fine. It's fine. On Donald, we're fine. I almost couldn't believe my eyes. Things are going well. We flip green on the daily. Gold is red. Silver is very red. BTC is up 1% on the day. SPY's red. NVIDIA's red. IGV is red. SAS is red. Everything is red. Gold is really red. Silver is extremely red. Bitcoin is green. And then I see this fucking atrocity of a post. And then you have to just reconsider everything that you know about the books. And it's just like, bro, it's always fucking Saylor. He's the last guy. Bro, can I just, dude, I'm sick of Michael Saylor. The whole shtick, I'm sick of it. It's like, man, you hold 4% of Bitcoin and you are becoming a problem. Okay, you are becoming a problem because you're the only person that wants to bid. And you put in these like fake bad shit candles that aren't real, and it makes everyone question their positioning, their bias, their bullish, bearish nature. It makes everyone question what's actually happening because it's fake, and it also like ruins the technicals of a chart. It's like, dude, it's like if you have copy traders and you slam 2% into one buy on like a 300K coin, you fuck up the chart. You make like a forever top. You fuck the chart up. You make it look like shit. It makes it really hard for people to come in. It makes it hard for people to buy. People don't want to buy when you sent it as 5%. It's like, okay, cool. Michael Saylor has 4% of Bitcoin, bro. He's about to be the number one holder. He has 4% of Bitcoin. And then it's like, man, you have 4% of Bitcoin and like what to show for it. Respectfully, I love Michael Saylor. I think he's one of the most fascinating guys in the world. I really want to get him on the stream. But it's like, what do you have to show for it, bro? He did one podcast one time. He did one interesting podcast once where he said, "How many chairs are you sitting on?" He did this once, okay? One time he did this, and we made a little video out of it.
How many chairs are you sitting on right now?
And it's like, okay, yeah, the video was sick. We loved the intro. We're grateful for the intro, okay? It's one of the best things that's ever come out of it. But it's just like, man, it's always Saylor, bro. And the thing about MicroStrategy is he doesn't even need Bitcoin to go up. Like, he's made it 100x over. He just needs to keep raising money to buy more Bitcoin. He just needs to be able to raise more money. He doesn't need 100K, 200K. Like, you know, strategy is convincing people to buy these like weird credit vehicles that like get spread on BTC. They're not like buying Bitcoin through strategy. And it's just like, God, you can't help but feel like this guy's become a fucking liability, man, for the BTC narrative. Even like Udi and all these strategy bulls have completely flipped on Michael Saylor. And it's just like, man, it's so demoralizing, dude. It's so fucking demoralizing. When you see this, what do you think Bitcoin would be at without it? Bro, honestly, probably the same. Probably about the same. Because so much of the, like, he's not buying that much anymore. No, think about it. Think about it. Is if Saylor never exists, the capital that was pulled forward to get slammed into these DATs wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have gone as high. It just like wouldn't have gone as high if strategy didn't exist. It wouldn't have. It would not have gone as high. A lot of these other DATs wouldn't have existed. Also, you don't hear much about these guys anymore. You don't hear much about David Bailey anymore. We don't hear much about Jack Mullers anymore. We don't hear much about any of these guys anymore. That's from today. Look, Michael Saylor is gonna be the richest guy in the world, and he's gonna be seen as a financial genius that pioneered financial alchemy. But we just need somebody else to buy. If anything meaningful is gonna happen here, we need somebody else to buy Bitcoin, and it just doesn't really seem like it's happening yet. And so, narrative violation all over the place. And I really have no choice but to acknowledge this one. I do. You have to acknowledge this one. And when we pop, but man, you got to acknowledge, you can't ignore this narrative violation. I'm just like kind of getting sick of the Saylor shit, dude. I can't help but feel that way. So that is what it is. Now, there's a single positive thing happening in crypto right now, I think. There's like one positive note right now worth being excited about. I don't think any of us have any exposure to it, but maybe we do. The single positive is this. What do you think I'm going to say, chat? What do you think I'm going to say? What do you think I'm going to say? You're a real ball knower. What do you think I'm going to say? What's this? Circle is absolutely ripping, bro. From February 5th bottom, it's up 100%, bro. 108%. Crazy. It's up 108%. Clarity Act is going to pass. Yeah, maybe. Clarity Act's maybe going to pass. It's probably going to pass where yield is illegal. You can't distribute yield back to consumers. And so Circle just gets to keep all the yield. Also, like, interest rates are not looking like they're going to get cut. Circle makes way more. Its odds are on Polymarket. Let's see. I can't allow for links. I don't know how to do it. There's just no volume on this. Yeah, 78% clarity act gets passed. Circle is gross right now. Circle's a good lesson why fundamentals matter more than stock price and charts. Things to watch like USDC supply, interest rates, and clarity act. Not whether or not sentiment is bad for the XYZTA. Says it's going to 0. Everyone on X was rushing to buy this at $200, but chickened out at 50. Last thing crypto related I want to watch just because it's important, and then I think we should just go to war, bro. I want to watch war stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Brian Armstrong did an interview, I think yesterday, and he basically said base app failed. I want to watch it, and then we could get fucking going.
Tell me about the base app.
Yeah.
I watched the presentations.
Yeah.
I've talked to you about it. I'm still confused.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the simple way to think of it is the base app is the self-custodial version of Coinbase. We launched a new version of it recently, which frankly, it was kind of polarizing. Like we put it out and it was trying to do something kind of novel on the social front. And I don't think it quite worked. We got like a bunch of feedback from the community about
Was
that.
this the tapping thing?
Well, you could double tap to buy any post. Yeah.
I understand that, but then each post almost like had like its own market cap. But then what
Yeah.
happens?
Well, it was interesting. So there was also
Who's the interviewer?
every post had its own coin, and also every creator had its own coin. Well, it was optional for the creator. But what happened is if you bought a post, some of the economics would flow back to the creator. And we thought maybe each post would have like this up and down, like it would have residual zero value. It turned out like many of the posts had a couple $1,000s of value or something at the terminal end of it. And people were thinking of it as a way to, I guess, reward and thank the creator, but they also own some of the creator coin. Long way of saying, I think something is going to work in this space around, they call it SocialFi or like, you know, these kind of social media tokens. I don't think that the tokenomics has not quite been figured out yet, where it needs for people, you know, investing in them, it needs to have some sort of like durability to like the, you know, they have to believe, okay, David Senra is going to continue to make great content into the future. And he's relatively undiscovered now, but he's going to be much bigger. And he's kind of like, you know, a company or something. And they would want to own your creator token and there'd be some value and maybe like a revenue stream would accrue to them over time, depending on your ad revenue. Or you'd have to come up with something like that. I think it's a little bit more durable. In the current incarnation, it wasn't quite there in my view. So we tried it as an experiment, didn't quite work. The app is since pivoted to really just be more focused on like trading and being like a self-custodial version.
Here's the deal, man. We need Bitcoin to leg up. I no take. We got to leg up. I don't know what else to tell you. We have to leg up. Until that happens, we're just at the mercy of. We need to leg up. This is the crypto segment for today. We need to leg up, brother. That's it. It has got to act as a geopolitical uncertainty hedge, and otherwise we are just in trouble. Let's talk about war, bro. That's what I want to talk about right now. I want to fucking learn about war. Honestly, I'm just like spending all day trying to learn about geopolitical unrest, and let's just like get into it. I think we should start with this Pete Hegseth video. Let's watch 7 minutes of this. It happened yesterday, and then we can get into some like details. So we know Pete Hegseth very well now. Do you think war has peaked? Well, first of all, I have no idea. Okay. But, dude, it kind of feels like maybe not. It kind of feels like maybe not. Because the market thinks yes so far. The market thinks yes so far. But then I read all these headlines and it's just like, I read all these headlines and it just feels like this is going to fucking drag on, bro. It feels like this is going to drag on. Okay, so there's this speech that happened yesterday. The Pentagon updates on military operations in Iran. And then let's get into it. And then we'll spend I mean, everybody wants to watch this, right? Like, it's 45 minutes. Everybody wants to watch this. We have to watch this. It came out today. We have to watch this. So let's just, like, get into some shit. Let's start with this. Who is this guy? I don't know who this is. Did you not tell me to start watching at 3? Did you tell me to watch from 3 to 7? Or 3 to 8, 3 to 10? And then we could get into some like details. Let's just go. Let's start ripping it. Let's go.
Period. I want to extend my personal gratitude to the dedicated commanders and senior enlisted leaders and the enlisted members of the Joint Force who are fighting this fight across the CENTCOM AOR. In addition to Admiral Cooper and Fleet Master Chief Compton, I want to highlight a few today. U.S. Army Central Command Commander Lieutenant General Pat Frank, who, along with his team, are fighting the counter missile and counter drone fight. United States Navy Central Command Commander Vice Admiral Kurt Renshaw and his team.
Oh, but I guess everybody knew this, but I did not realize how ingrained of a military weapon drones were. It's just like everybody has a drone strat. I did not realize that this was like so deeply ingrained. The drone strat is nuts. Dinop, what is this link?
Who are engaged with the Iranian Navy
was gifted
and projecting American naval combat.
Oh, different video you want me to watch? Let me see. I could flip it. Oh, wrong vid. All right, bet. Flip. I thought it was Pete Hegseth. I was confused. All right, let's go. Still from the same speech.
Regime who chanted death to America and death to Israel was gifted death from America and death from Israel. This is not a so-called regime change.
Jesus. That's where you told me to start?
And death to Israel. It's out the regime who chanted death to America and death to Israel was gifted death from America and death from Israel. This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change. And the world.
Bro, this is like slam poetry. What the fuck was that? What was that? By the way, I thought this was a regime change war. Like, what is it? Is it to stop nuclear progression? Is it a regime change? That was so... I cannot believe this is real.
Israel. This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change.
Come on, bruh.
And the world is better off for it.
Come on, G.
Today, in their desperation, the enemy is unmasked. As Iranian missiles and drones rain down indiscriminately on the hotels, airports, apartments, and other civilian targets of their neighbors. Cowardly terrorist tactics from a regime that for decades has trafficked in cowardly terrorist tactics. Lies, death, and destruction to this day. The Iranian leadership has built nothing except proxies and missiles and drones and deeply buried nuclear factories and facilities. Peaceful nuclear and
you feel better or worse knowing that this guy is our Department of War, that he's firing off riddles and shit. Like, is he Bruce Wayne or no? Do you feel better or worse?
Ambitions.
Low-key better. I low-key do too. I'm not gonna lie. I low-key feel better, but I feel like it's a little retarded. Like, I don't know.
Not need to be buried underneath mountains. Last June, Operation Midnight Hammer obliterated their nuclear program to rubble.
See, this is what I'm confused. Last June, Operation Midnight Hammer obliterated their nuclear program. But during the initial strikes a couple days ago, they're saying it's to eliminate their nuclear program. And then it's like, wait, what? Which that, by the way, has since changed why we did this. I have this Marco Rubio video. It's kind of insane. But this is where I'm like, am I retarded or are they retarded? It's like, if Operation Midnight Hammer, that is a wild name, eliminated their nuclear program, why are we re-eliminating their nuclear program? I thought we were done with it.
Afterward, we told them plainly, that's it, now make a deal. They arrogantly refused. We said, rebuild it, and we'll stop you again, this time far worse. Well, President Trump, Secretary Rubio, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, they bent over backwards for real diplomacy, offering pathway after pathway to peace. I watched it. I was there. They tried over and over and over again earnest attempts at peace. The former regime had every chance to make a peaceful and sensible deal. But Tehran was not negotiating. They were stalling, buying time to reload their missile stockpiles and restart their nuclear ambitions. Their goal, hold us hostage, threatening to strike our forces. Well, President Trump doesn't play those games.
Dude, this guy's I know lunatics. This guy's a lunatic, dude. Jesus.
And as Secretary Rubio...
I know crazy. This guy is fucking... Imagine this guy with the... Dude.
Rubio said after the Maduro raid, if you don't know, now you know. President Trump puts America and Americans first. He doesn't hesitate, and neither do our troops. The mission of Operation Epic Fury is laser focused.
Can you imagine Dario in a room with this guy, one-on-one, trying to get a deal done? Dario from Anthropic in a room with this guy solo?
Destroy Iranian offensive missiles, destroy Iranian missile production, destroy their navy and other security infrastructure, and they will never have nuclear weapons. We're hitting them surgically, overwhelmingly, and unapologetically.
I thought we already destroyed the nuclear weapons.
With every passing day, our capabilities get stronger and Iran's get weaker. We set the terms of this war from start to finish. Our ambitions are not utopian.
Also, notice how they're calling it
They
a
are
war.
realistic, scoped to our interests and the defense of our people and our allies. Speaking of people, we hope the Iranian people take advantage of this incredible opportunity. President Trump has been clear, now is your time. To Iranian security forces, choose wisely. President Trump has also been clear about your fate in either direction. To the media outlets and political left screaming endless wars, stop. This is not Iraq. This is not endless. I was there for both. Our generation knows better, and so does this president. He called the last 20 years of nation-building wars dumb, and he's right. This is the opposite. This operation is a clear, devastating, decisive mission. Destroy the missile threat, destroy the Navy, no nukes. Israel has clear missions as well, for which we are grateful. Capable partners, as we've said since the beginning, capable partners are good partners. Unlike so many of our traditional allies who wring their hands and
Wait, he wasn't like in the military. He was in college. So he was like kind of there, like same way I was there.
clutch their pearls,
He was like kind of there, not really, right? He was at college.
hemming and hawing about the use of force. America, regardless of what so-called international institutions say, is unleashing the most lethal and precise air power campaign in history.
Okay, he was in Iraq and Afghanistan.
B-2s,
My bad,
fighters,
my bad, my
drones,
bad.
missiles, and of course,
Good context. Good context.
classified
Thank you.
effects. All on our terms, with maximum authorities.
What's good,
no
Mando?
stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy
Mando, what were you doing in 2003? You traded war before or no?
building exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time or lives. As the president warned, an effort of this scope will include casualties. War is hell.
6 so far.
And always will be.
6 American casualties so far.
A grateful nation honors
Claude, look, I know it's Claude, but Claude says double digits and shit gets fucking ridiculous.
the 4 Americans we have lost thus far and those injured. The absolute best of America. May we prosecute the remainder of this operation in a manner that honors them. No apologies, no hesitation, epic fury for them and the thousands of Americans before them.
Can you imagine this guy in the huddle at halftime of like an 8th grader basketball game giving like a championship speech? Oh my God, dude.
Too soon by Iranian radicals.
Oh my God.
Before I turn it over to General Kane for the operational update, let me speak straight to you, the Joint Force, our warriors on the front lines. This is your moment. This is the generational turning point America has waited for since 1979 and since the rudderless wars of hubris my generation, our generation, endured. Don't listen to the noise. Just stay focused. Our commander-in-chief is steady at the wheel. We face a determined enemy, but you are better. But we must prove it every single day. History doesn't care if we're tired, if we're scared, or if the fight feels big. It demands warriors who rise anyway. Peace through strength, the warrior ethos, lethality, unity of purpose, those are not slogans. They're the beating heart of what it means to wear the uniform, that uniform. You think clearly under fire, you act decisively in chaos, you uphold the Constitution, and you uphold our country without hesitation. We are not defenders anymore. We are warriors, trained to kill the enemy and break their will. History is watching.
Dude.
Be the force you swore an oath to be: focused, disciplined, lethal, and unbreakable. We will finish this on America First conditions of President Trump's choosing. Nobody else's, as it should be. And know this above all: President Trump and I have your back, always. Through fire, through criticism, through fake news, through everything. We unleash you because you are the best, most powerful, most lethal fighting force the world has ever seen. May Almighty God watch over you, and his providential arms of protection extend over you. Godspeed, warriors, and keep going. General Kane, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone.
Dude, he's a fucking lunatic. Jeez. Look, at least he's on our team. I'm not going to lie. Okay, there's one question at 31:45 we should listen to. All right, let's see.
In his video message that we will leave
Longer for us to assess than it would in a single operation.
Secretary Hegseth, thank you. Reagan Reese with the Daily Caller. 2 questions for you. The president said yesterday in his video message that we will leave Iran when we complete all of our objectives. What are our objectives?
Good
And
question.
can you share more
Thank you. What are our objectives? Thank you. Thank you.
leave Iran when we complete all of our objectives? What are our objectives? And can you share more information on how the soldiers who were killed were killed?
Well, I laid out the objectives, as did the chairman. They're completely nested. I mean, Iran has an ability to project power against us and our allies in ways that we can't tolerate. So whether that's ballistic missiles and drones, so offensive capabilities, effectively their navy, which would attempt to set other terms and impose different costs, drone capabilities, which we laid out there, and ultimately, though, this tying it back to Midnight Hammer, the president has been willing to make a deal.
Did he not just like not answer the question at all? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Is like what is the like? Because it's hard to like trade headlines when we're like, what is the objective? Like, what would it mean that we're closer to this thing ending? I feel like does he not answer this question at all? Tell me this. Once he answers this question, give me someone in the chat. Give me a straight answer of what he just said. Like, what are like A, B, and C objective is?
Killed.
Well, I laid out the objectives, as did the chairman. They're completely nested. I mean, Iran has an ability to project power against us and our allies in ways that we can't tolerate. So whether that's ballistic missiles and drones, so offensive capabilities, effectively their navy, which would attempt to set other terms and impose different costs, drone capabilities, which we laid out there, and ultimately, though, this tying it back to Midnight Hammer, the president has been willing to make a deal. You can't have a nuclear bomb. Radical Islamists can't have a nuclear bomb that they wield against the world. He gave them every single opportunity. Then we precisely took it away. And even then, after that, they didn't have that. They didn't come to the table with a willingness to give it away. So ultimately, those nuclear ambitions, which never ceased, are something that had to be addressed as well. So that's a discrete sense of what's being addressed here to ensure that they can't use that conventional umbrella to continue a pursuit of nuclear ambitions. And then as it pertains to the U.S. casualties, that particular incident was, you have air defenses and a lot's coming in and you hit most of it, and we absolutely do. We have incredible air defenders. Every once in a while you might have one, unfortunately we call it a squirter that makes its way through, and in that particular case, one, unfortunately we call coming in and you hit most of it, and we absolutely do. We have incredible air defenders. Every once in a while you might have one, unfortunately we call it a squirter that makes its way through, and in that particular case, it happened to hit a tactical operations center that was fortified, but these are powerful weapons. So we certainly will do, as I said, moments like that as we remember them and we take care of them and take care of their families. Only stiffen our
I think it's 6
to ensure that we do this properly.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right here.
Thank you, Secretary Hegseth. I had 2 questions for you. First, are there currently any American boots on the ground in Iran?
No, right?
No, but we're not going to go into the exercise of what we will or will not do. I think it's one of those fallacies for a long time that this department or presidents or others should tell the American people, and our enemies, by the way, here's exactly what we'll do. Here's exactly how long we'll go.
Dude, he's on he's on blow, dude. He's on Adderall right now. He's tweaking.
So here's what we're willing to do and not do. It's foolishness. And so President Trump ensures that our enemies understand we'll go as far as we need to go to advance American interests. But we're not dumb about it.
It's sped up. It's sped up. It's sped up. My bad. It is sped up. It's sped up. It is sped up. My bad. That was crazy. My bad. I take it back. It's sped up. It's sped up. My bad. My bad. My bad. So I'm like, bro, he's tweaking. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad.
have to roll 200,000 people in there and stay for 20 years. We've proven that you can achieve objectives that advance American interests without being foolish about it. Now, will we be bold about it?
Genuinely, I take full responsibility for that. That's completely my bad. He's sped up. He's on a 1.5 speed. I'm like, why is he tweaking?
Are we going to be decisive about it? Do we put months and months of planning into what kind of effects we want to achieve? Absolutely. But going forward, why in the world would we tell you?
Okay, wait, let's see regular speed real quick. And then I got to move on after this. He's at 1.25. I mean, it's not crazy.
Are we willing to be decisive about it? Do we put months and months of planning into what kind of effects we want to achieve?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But going forward, why in the world would we tell you, the enemy, anybody, what we will or will not do in pursuit of an objective? We fight to win. We fight to achieve the objectives the President of the United States has laid out. And we will do so unapologetically. Thank you.
Is there any significance to Israel carrying out the strike to kill the Ayatollah? And I wanted to know, what was your immediate reaction to finding out about his killing?
I think Israel did a great job in the conduct of that operation.
President Trump put a 4-week timeline on it. Are you saying that's wrong?
4-week timeline.
Yeah, thank you. You mentioned during the briefing, General Kane, that there would be additional troops sent to the region. Could you say how many troops currently are involved in this operation and how many additional troops are planned to go in this next phase?
This is this is a youngin. Am I watching? Is this one of you guys?
I don't want to talk specifics because that would tip the.
Here's the deal. Is we have like Fuentes Light. We have a bunch of stuff to cover right now, and then I want to get to the Professor Jang video, which is long. I also have a breaking points video to watch. Let me get off. I'm gonna get off right now for 30 seconds. Take that one break. It's been an hour and 30 minutes. When I come back, we have war stuff to cover. BRB, let's go. All right. Okay. Let's just get back into fucking coverage mode. If there's something like, I don't have Twitter noties on my computer. If there's something that you feel like we should, something gets announced, if something we need to read, just send it and I'll just pull it up if I think it's good enough. Rip that dart super quick. I know. No, I quit the darts completely. No more darts. I was doing it for a while and I'm like, it's got to stop. If any headlines pop, if anything you think is important pops, let me know. I feel like things have like slowed down a little bit today. But okay. They are. That's not the video I wanted. Here, okay. Okay, so like, a couple things. Did we cover Anthropic today? No, we didn't yet. We'll cover Anthropic near the end. I have some stuff I want to get through just before we get to the Jang video, which I really want to watch. The real thing I want to figure out, and I'm trying to figure out through these war announcements, and again, I've never traded war before, so this is like unprecedented territory. I think this is unprecedented territory for basically everybody. My timeline is a mess. People in here are a little bit of a mess. I've never traded war before. But I think what we're trying to figure out is the timeline. Like, how long is this going to last for, right? And here's a progression that makes it feel like it's not going to last a day. February 28th, the Iran war is already won. March 4th, Tehran will be taken in 3 to 4 days. March 2nd, 4 to 5 weeks to go. And then today, Trump says wars can be fought forever. The United States Mutin stockpiles have, at the medium and upper grade medium, never been higher or better. As was stated to me today, we have virtually unlimited supply of these weapons. Wars can be fought forever. It's hard. It's a tough word, bro. Weapons. It's weapons. I know what it means. It's weapons. It's a tough word. We have virtually unlimited supply of these weapons. Wars can be fought forever and very successfully using these supplies, which are better than other countries' finest arms. At the highest end, we have a good supply, but are not where we want to be. So it's like unlimited or not, contradicting itself, right? Much additional high-grade weaponry is stored for us in outlying countries. Sleepy Joe Biden spent all of his time and our country's money giving everything to Ukraine, Zelensky. Hundreds of billions of dollars worth. And while he gave so much of the super high-end away for free, he didn't bother to replace it. Fortunately, I rebuilt the military in my first term and continue to do so. The United States is stocked and ready to win big. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And so his most recent, I know, why is he still talking about Biden? His most recent announcement on this today is that wars can be fought forever. And so again, the market feels like it is trading as if we're done in 72 hours. Politicians and people in power of war are saying 72 hours kind of thing this week, couple weeks max. But then you get statements like this in between the lines, and it's like, okay, this feels like it's going to drag out more. And so on the endless supply thing, there was this clip, we played it yesterday, which is kind of crazy. So it says Rubio on Iran. They're producing, by some estimates, over 100 of these missiles per month. Compare that to the 6 or 7 interceptors that we can build in a month, which is crazy. So they're producing 100 of these missiles a month, and we can only produce 6 to 7 missiles that can stop them, or interceptors that can stop it. So here's a quote to me. Rubio, in addition to acting incredibly nervous, just admitted the lopsided production rates for Iranian missiles versus U.S. interceptors. Something bad is about to happen. How is this possible, by the way? How is this possible?
Over 100 producing, by some estimates, they are producing, by some estimates, over 100 of these missiles a month. Compare that to the 6 or 7 interceptors that can be built a month. They can build 100 of these a month, not to mention the thousands of one-way attack drones that they also have.
Not to mention threadguy. It's even crazier when they use 2 to 3 interceptors just to stop one missile. How many interceptors to stop one missile? Wow, 2 to 4? What? I saw someone bet on what can you bet Rubio for? I saw someone doing betting on Rubio. Was it for nominee? Maybe it was Avi Feldman. Marco Rubio, is he ripping? He was at 7% in October. He is kind of ripping. He's up 18%. Jesus. Dude, it takes 2 to 4 interceptors to stop one missile. Iran is producing 100 a month, and we are producing 6 to 7 missiles per month. Look at Bitcoin. Oh, I thought it was gonna be bad. Nice. Interesting chart, man. I'm just saying. We'll come back to this thing later. But okay. So then. Okay, so again, intercepted a missile cost. All right, fine. How much does a missile cost? $20,000 for small guided rockets. Over $100 million for advanced long-range systems. How much is a missile interceptor cost. $1 million to 100 million per unit. Oh my fucking god. Also, Trump posted about crypto right now. Why is he posting about crypto right now? Trump, the Genius Act is threatened by banks undermining our crypto agenda. We must protect this industry for Americans, but we're at war. I was actually thinking about this today. I was like in the shower thinking about, like, do you think Trump's thinking about crypto right now? And the answer is yes, he is thinking about crypto. He is. It's like, bro, why? I'm not even thinking about crypto right now. I'm not even thinking about crypto. Why is he thinking about crypto right now? Why? We're like at war. The Genius Act is threatened by banks, and Bitcoin reacts positively to that headline. It's crazy. That's it. That's interesting. Okay, so I'm trying to, like, all right, again, I don't have a lot of experience fine combing through war headlines. Okay, but listening to Pete Hegseth, it seems like why we're doing this operation in Iran is some combination of regime change, and then the U.S. wants a regime change. They're not really sure how they're going to do it, but they want to initiate it. And then Midnight Hammer, like nuclear weapon related. It's like they have nukes. They can't be allowed to have nukes. We have to stop their nuclear program. But then there's this clip that comes out, and it says, breaking, Secretary Marco Rubio says Iran was imminent threat because they knew Israel was going to attack and Iran would blame the U.S. What fucking world are we in? This administration is out of control. It's crazy as fuck. It's kind of a crazy clip, though. Like, he says nothing about either. He's basically like, somebody else was going to strike Iran, and then they were going to strike us, so we had to just do it first. It says nothing about Midnight Hammer, and it says nothing about regime change. Which, again, makes it feel like, okay, what's the objective? And if the objective is not clear, then us being done with this in 3 weeks feels significantly less likely, right? Like that's why I'm even covering this. It's like if it's unclear what the goal is, that we just do this, this just drags on for months. By the way, Amanda, I was listening to your stream yesterday. It was pretty good. The four-way pause. The live stream was pretty good.
Have to weigh it. Does Congress have to weigh it? Is the president defending it? And does Congress have to weigh it? And was there an imminent threat? Did you tell lawmakers that there was an imminent
There
threat?
absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. And we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded, because the Department of War assessed that if we did that, if we waited for them to...
Was there an imminent threat? Did you tell lawmakers that there was an imminent
There
threat?
absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately...
So it's not Midnight Hammer nuclear program, and it's not regime change. It's that Iran was going to get attacked, and when they got attacked, they're about to come after us, and so we just did it first.
Come after us. And we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded, because the Department of War assessed that if we did that, if we waited for them to hit us first after they were attacked, and by someone else...
So if we waited for them to hit us after they were attacked by somebody else, then we were going to be in trouble.
Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us, we would suffer more casualties and more deaths. We went proactively in a defensive way to prevent them from inflicting higher damage. Had we not done so, there would have been hearings on Capitol Hill about how we knew that this was going to happen, and we didn't act preemptively to prevent more casualties and more loss of life.
Is trying to navigate geopolitical headlines always like this? Is this always how this goes? Because every American leader is saying something different. Everyone has like a different take on what we're doing. Also, if you're watching on, I forgot to say this, watching on Twitter, you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy, YouTube as well. I don't read the YouTube chat. Everyone's saying something different. Trump's saying something different from Hegseth, who's saying something different from Rubio, who do you supposed to listen to? It's very unclear. And then there's a follow-up video on the Rubio clip. I watched some of it this morning. I didn't really get to watch it. Back in the day, it was perfectly synced and staged. Do you guys want to watch this breaking points video? It's actually good. It's 3 hours old, and it's Rubio admits Israel dragged us into war. Like, you saw this. What is it? President Trump calls Congress to pass crypto market legislation. Yeah, I did see that. Bitcoin likes it, I think. I think we should watch this, set the stage, talk about oil traffic, and then get to Professor Jang. I think this is a pretty good like stage setting right here. Breaking points is so good, bro. They're crushing it. We'll go 1.25.
No, we will break. It was on Trita Parsi is going to join of how we got to this place. There, Iran.
The Iran war.
Rubio claiming that the preemptive threat against the U.S. was actually from Israel. I'm not kidding.
No,
we will break down,
not.
and not just him, Mike Johnson too. I mean, this is crazy stuff that they're saying this out loud. We'll break all of that down for you. BB was on Fox News last night celebrating.
I just like, and forgive my ignorance because again, I'm extremely open about the fact that I've never traded through war. I'm not super geopolitically inept. I'm just trying to figure out cause and end. Like, what is our justification for beginning this, and then what is our headline that we're losing or looking for to end? Because I want to figure out when price goes, like, I'm trying to figure out how to trade this, right? Like, how do you position? And so we need to figure out like cause and then end, so we can figure out how to sort through the slop of headlines. Because I have since learned that navigating these headlines are kind of ridiculous.
Of course, the Gulf states are in chaos. Our embassies are being attacked. Trita Parsi is going to join to break down what is going on. Scott Horton is also going to join to break down his larger historical perspective of how we got to this place. Media is propagandizing, doing their pro-war propaganda on overtime. We've got some lowlights for you there. And we're going to take a little trip back, a very recent trip back down memory lane of all the lies that were told from J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. and Stephen Miller and Donald Trump himself about how they did not want war with Iran.
By the way, I don't know how Breaking Points was politically positioned prior to the election, but they really hate Trump and GOP. Bad. Like, Sagar too, she really hates him, dude. Like, she really, like, Division 1 type hates admin.
And yet, here we are. Also, Ryan and I are going to record an interview with Kat Abu-Ghazaleh. You'll recall last week Ryan had some reporting about her foreign policy views, so we thought the best thing to do would be to have her on and just ask her directly.
Cause drugs that cause enlightenment and culture that causes enlightenment come from the Middle East, and NATO wants to control all that, and Iran is basically the last stand. What drugs? What drugs? What drugs?
What she thinks about various issues, including the Iran war, of course. So we will have that for you as well.
I'm interested to follow that. Been a lot of drama before the Iran war.
I'll stop pausing it. But after this, you should definitely be studying and learning more about geopolitics because it's important to finance economy. By the way, this is the first time I've ever really learned about macro, and we're starting to learn about it. And this stream, all I'm going to say, I was going to do this segment at the beginning. I'll resume the video. But the last 3 months, we basically had to go from crypto market collapsing to SaaS collapsing to AI mayhem, now to war. And the accelerated learning going on is crazy. Also, who the hell is Breaking Points? Bro, Breaking Points is huge. But all right, let's lock in. Let's watch this, cover our topics, and get to Professor Jang.
Now,
Ryan's always starting some shit, you know.
We love Ryan. Ryan is and remains the GOAT, no matter what his detractors may say. Thank you to everybody who has been supporting our show. For visibility, Spotify, let's go for a free month. Us will be doing, we're very glad to last. Of course, more than others who enable all of our who should be listening to this on the podcast. Get off with what Donald Trump and his administration are saying is the reason why that we are in this war in the first place. If I said it 3 days ago, it would have been the anti-Semitic conspiracy. And now it is coming out of the mouth of the United States Secretary of State.
That's right. So not only Marco Rubio, but also Mike Johnson saying that the reason, because everyone's saying, why are we doing this? That the reason, according to them, is that Israel was going to strike Iran no matter what, that would put our U.S. service members at risk. And so we calculated, well, we may as well be involved because maybe that will help us to be able to control the outcome here. Let's go ahead and take a listen to how they
Why did this clip not get more traction?
Why now? Well, there's two reasons why now.
Why did this go
The first
more
is
viral?
it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond against the United States. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
They had to evaluate the threats to the U.S., to our troops, to our installations, to our assets in the region and beyond. And they determined, because of the exquisite intelligence that we had, that if Israel fired upon Iran and took action against Iran to take out the missiles.
This is Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House.
Then they would have immediately retaliated against U.S. personnel and assets. The consequences of inaction on our part could have been devastating. We don't know at what magnitude, but you can assume.
So this is totally different from regime change and nuclear program. This is like a third reason has entered the villa, and it's completely different than the other two.
Because it is common sense that if Iran had begun to fire all of their missile arsenal, short and mid-range missiles at our personnel and our assets and our installations, we would have suffered staggering losses.
I mean, Sagar, taken at face value, this is utterly humiliating and insane.
Correct.
And obviously begs one really clear question, which is, okay, if Israel striking Iran was going to create all of these problems and put our service members at risk, why don't we stop Israel from striking Iran? This is our client state. They can't function without our protection, our weaponry, our support, etc. So why did we...
Rubio did name drop. He says somebody was going to strike Iran, and then he says Israel strike. I believe we could rewatch the video, but I believe that's what he says. I don't know if he like explicitly says it was. Let's just see what they say.
Just get coerced into this rather than going to our client vassal state and saying, no, you're not going to strike Iran because this is against our interests.
We need to, this is the most extraordinary admission probably in modern history by United States Secretary of State. They claim that this war was preemptive, and it was preemptive in the sense that we had to preempt Iranian reaction to Israel's preemption. Are you here with me now? We are not a sovereign
Israel
country.
was the threat. That's the bottom line. Israel was the threat.
We have sacrificed our sovereignty. We are a non-sovereign nation. If the world's superpower is subject to a country the size of New Jersey, which basically makes nothing and is controlling our politicians such that, despite being the largest single recipient of military aid in the history of the United States, that we are not capable of telling them no. And it is now documented history, from the New York Times now to the open mouth of...
So do you have to just take Marco Rubio at face value? Because no one else had said that. Like, was he allowed to say that? Was that a slip up? Was he allowed to say that? Do you have to just take that at face value? I don't understand. Does Marco Rubio like have permission to do that? Like, is this his...
of the U.S. Secretary of State and the Speaker of the House that this is Israel's war. Israel's war. Now, Donald Trump has agency, but he never once was able. Apparently, it even entered his mind to say, hey, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to cut off weapons. We're going to make you a global pariah, and good luck defending yourself without all of our missile defense systems. That never once entered their minds. And you know what I was thinking about? You have to think, even the Iranians, Iranian strategic calculus was, guys, they won't want to hit us. Or Israel's not going to want to hit us because we'll hit U.S. bases. And the theory behind that was by threatening U.S. bases, it would mean that we would constrain or restrain Israel from striking them from their belligerent action. They never could have imagined the world where the...
Does U.S. have bases in Iran? Is that a retarded question? Does U.S. have bases in Iran? No, it does not have bases inside Iran since 1970. Since 1979, no foreign military bases have been allowed in the country. Instead, U.S. maintains a defense network of 19 military sites across the Middle East, including Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and UAE. What is the closest U.S. military base to Iran? Lock in thread. Bro, I'm fucking locked in. What do you mean? Closest military bases to Iran are located in Iraq, specifically forward operating bases near the border, along with significant installations. Hosts 10,000 the base in Qatar hosts 10,000 personnel as a key up for U.S. operations. Got it. Thank you. What are you locking, TG? I'm fucking locked in, bro.
Client state is actually dictating and dragging policy of the United States and the global empire to actually enter the war on their very behalf. We are beyond screwed. Also, at a certain point, is it even useful to play comments here at this point from Donald Trump?
Please go to images and search U.S. bases around Iran. Let's see. U.S. bases around Iran. Qatar? I can pronounce Qatar. Whoa. Wait, open link. Open image, new tab. U.S. bases surrounding Iran. Okay, so like, forgive my ignorance, but how does this work? Like, what happens here? Have they? There's nothing for Iran fires U.S. base. Jank video. We're almost there. We're almost there. Huh. Okay, let's keep going. Dude, when we are going to get so geopolitically adept from this, I'm not. This is just like,
Trump, Israel's in the driver's seat. They're the ones who killed Ayatollah Khamenei. We're the ones apparently who gave them the intelligence. They're the ones who do it. All of the strikes now so far are for regime collapse. The ingredients for civil war are happening. They are already.
We're stoking them.
Bibi Netanyahu got Donald Trump, made Donald Trump, I don't know, got Donald Trump on the phone with a bunch of Kurdish leaders in Iraq, and they're like, hey, go on in there. Let's stoke a little civil war.
And
this is the
a bunch
Libya,
of border
Syria.
guards.
They killed all the border guards.
Could come in over the border
even the
and
Israeli
like
strikes,
chaos.
by their own admission, they're going after and blowing up all the police stations. You only do that to collapse the civil society
And they've
order
attacked
in the country.
9 different hospitals, obviously murdered those schoolgirls, etc. And here's the thing is, you know, I keep bringing up the Epstein files because you have to look at this and go.
Okay, I'm gonna ask another. Maybe I'll ask Claude this question. It's like, how do you, like, what's like the win condition for a regime change being complete? Like, you take out the leader, but what has to happen next? Because I'm listening to this clip of like, there's this clip of Lindsey Graham, I believe is his name, and he's like, it's from yesterday, and he says, you know that saying, if you break it, you buy it? I don't believe that I don't believe in that. And he's like, we're just gonna break it. I'm like, okay, what happens after that? But like, what is the, all right, he keeps asking questions that Jang will answer. My question is like, what is the definition of this being done? Like, what is new regime has been installed? Like, what does that actually tangibly look like so we can determine when it's over?
Okay, this is insane. You know, Trump clearly had reluctance to go into a full-blown war with Iran, and yet nevertheless he did it. And it never occurred to him, or it never seemed to be an option to him to go to Israel and say, no, we will cut you off. Here will be the, here will be the repercussions. This is something that previously.
Okay, puppet dictator, but who's even in charge? Like, who's even in charge or has the authority to take over as puppet dictator for the U.S.? What is the process for that?
Presidents have been able to do. It's not like Israel's so out of control and they have so much autonomy that they're able to do all of these things on their own. No, they're fully and completely enabled by us. So why is that not an option on the table? Why?
Oh, Trump's talking about crypto right now.
You can't help but ask yourself, maybe it is the Epstein files, right? Is it just the money from Miriam Adelson? Like, there's lots of people who give Trump money for his campaign. There's all sorts of interests that are, you know, filling his both campaign and personal coffers with cash. So is that really it? It's just about the Israel lobby cash. There's some piece of this that is missing that just does not add up. Because listen, Donald Trump is extremely belligerent, right? He's bombed more countries in, you know, his presidency than like any other American president. He has no problem taking.
Is that true? Is that true? Trump's bombed more countries than any other American president in history.
Military action, but it did seem like the one thing that he was reluctant to do was get embroiled in a long, large-scale war, particularly in the Middle East. And yet, here we are. And you've got the Secretary of State saying, well, Israel made us do it. It does not add up. It does not make sense. There is some piece of this that is missing. And so you cannot call people crazy when they look at the Epstein files cover up and go, I don't know, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what's going on here.
Yeah, to quote Dave Smith, think about this. George W. Bush had the wisdom not to do what Donald Trump is doing. I mean, I said it before. You're going to launch a so-called war of choice, preemption.
It's called George W. Bush retarded or no?
Whatever you want to call it now, admitting openly 10 months or whatever before the midterm elections in your first year. If we think back to the history of the Bush presidency, we're all on the right track. You've got an unpopular war in the Middle East. You're going to have, what did W call the 2006 midterms? A thumping? Is that what he said? It's a thumping whenever the Democrats. And then, yeah, that was Obama's.
Yeah.
I think Bush called it a thumping. Then we have a massive financial crash. So we're on track. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We're all on track.
No, this thing is out of control. I mean, we've got embassies that are being attacked. We're telling Americans now.
Does this feel like it's going to be over in 72 hours? Because it just like doesn't to me. And the market is saying it's going to be over in 72 hours. It just does not feel like it's going to be over in 72 hours to me. Like at all. Am I missing something? Like here's the thing. I feel like you get an edge when you have minimal prior context because you look at this shit from first principles or whatever. This does not feel like 72 hours to me. I've been in like girlfriend drama and I'm like, yeah, this is not going to be over by tomorrow. This does not feel like it's going to be over by tomorrow.
In 12 different countries in the region, like, use commercial means and get out of the region. Well, there are no commercial means. The airlines are all shut down. The airports are all virtually shut down. You know, there was an article yesterday about how Americans, mostly wealthy Americans in the UAE, were trying to get the heck out of Dubai, and there's no way to get out of that area. The busiest airport.
Also, it's like, man, Ukraine's still going on. Venezuela just happened. Now Trump's talking about Cuba. Also, Trump's talking about Greenland. And then we're now in war with Iran. How are you supposed to price all 5 of those at the same time?
The entire world, and it's all but closed down. So you've got this thing already completely spiraling out of control.
Also, we have Epstein files.
And, you know, apparently they thought maybe if we take out the Ayatollah and we hit them pretty hard in the front, maybe this whole thing will collapse and the IRGC will just hold a hand over their arms and we can declare mission accomplished.
I don't know if you know this, but China gets cheap oil AF from the Iran regime. Okay, also from Venezuela too, right? But I read it's like sub 15% of China's oil imports are from Iran and Venezuela combined. Is that true? I believe it's like sub 15% for both combined. And so it's not that much.
This is delusional.
No,
obviously, and now they realize this is delusional, which is why Donald Trump is not going out talking to anybody. Yesterday, he said, "Oh, everybody, go listen to Bibi Netanyahu on Fox News," because apparently this is the person who's actually calling the shots.
Look, we'll get to that, but yeah, Trump is out to lunch, like completely. Let's take a listen to him yesterday at the White House
over, by the way.
during the Medal of Honor ceremony. I watched the entire thing. He began with maybe a 4-minute segment on Iran where he was extremely tired. He seemed distracted. His heart really didn't seem in it at all, and he immediately pivoted to start talking about the fucking ballroom.
This was brutal. This is brutal.
Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon, never going to have a nuclear weapon.
I think official Solana Twitch is in here. Seriously, watch. Welcome, Solana. Get ready to learn fucking geopolitics, buddy.
Already substantially ahead of our time projections, but whatever the time is, it's okay. Whatever it takes, we will always, and we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it. Whatever somebody said today, they said, oh, well, if the president wants to do it really quickly. After that, he'll get bored. I don't get bored. There's nothing boring about this. See that nice drape? When that comes down, right now you see a very, very deep hole. But in about 1.5 years from now, you're going to see a very, very beautiful building. And there's your entrance to it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save money on the doors because it can't get more beautiful than that. I picked those drapes in my first term. I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains. But, and it'll be spectacular. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom. I believe it because I built many a ballroom. I believe it's going to be the most beautiful ballroom.
That was not an unfair cut. That literally happened. I watched the entire thing. Not joking. Like we only spared you about 2 to 3 minutes in between.
It wasn't an unfair cut. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't like a crazy it wasn't a fucking out of context like make him look bad.
Between Iran and all of that. In addition, by the way, Trump continues this thing where he'll answer his cell phone for anybody who calls. Let's put this up here on the screen.
What is this, by the way? People call his phone and he like gives them. What is this? The Wall Street Journal on a call with Trump? They're like calling his cell phone. Is this is the thing that happens? I didn't know this was a thing. And he just like answers people's phone. I kind of respect that.
From the New York Post, where yesterday he refused to rule out sending U.S. troops to Iran if necessary, saying, quote, I don't have the yips with respect to boots on the ground, like every president says. There will be no boots. I don't say it, Trump said after launching Strike Saturday to decapitate Iran's military and political leadership. I say probably don't need them, or if they were necessary. So that is...
I don't have the yips with respect to boots on the ground. So he's not afraid of it. Anything that has to do with boots on the ground, he's like Shams, bro. Anything that has to do with boots on the ground is months, right? Like there's no ending to this shit if we have boots on the ground. American boots on the ground, that means drag out. Equities get crushed. Oil goes up is what that means. Gold probably goes up. Bitcoin probably goes up. SPY gets destroyed. If we got there, at least is what I think.
the situation as we currently have it. And
US
Crystal,
dollar
that
goes
Civil
up?
War point that we made earlier, at every time that we have to try and launch some insurgency to overthrow or destabilize a government, there are
Gold
U.S. special
down?
forces that accompany them on the ground. And look, no hate to the Kurds. I know
Yeah,
they've been
dollar
screwed
up.
around by the United States now
Oh,
for
yeah.
probably decades, but we did a lot of work
Yeah, I know the less trade thing, but it still feels like gold's a hedge to like war, right? It already has pumped so hard though.
together in the counter-ISIS campaign. So these forces know exactly how to work together. There's a base in Erbil, right, where they are. And look, it's all ready to go. The weapons are there. They'll be the most well-armed insurgents in history. That's all they need. A little bit of forward deployment from a couple special advisors. It's going to look like the special operations that went in October 2001 with the Taliban, or to defeat the Taliban. That's the theory, at least. But that is the recipe for quagmire. For
Wait. Back up.
accompany them on the ground. And look, and Crystal, that Civil War point that we made earlier, at every time that we have to try and launch some insurgency to overthrow or destabilize a government, there are U.S. special forces that accompany them on the ground.
So anytime we try to overthrow a government, there's U.S. special forces that accompany them on the ground. Is that not what happened if Not what happened in Venezuela? We didn't overthrow. We just took out leader. How does that work? With U.S. forces on the ground in Venezuela? No. They just took out the leader and just called it?
Look, no hate to the Kurds. I know they've been screwed around by the United States now for probably decades, but we did a lot of work together.
What happened in Venezuela, by the way? We just took out Maduro and then just, like, plucked him and that was it? I haven't heard a single Venezuela headline since then. Where is Maduro? What? He's in New York? We plucked him, stole the oil, then dipped. Yeah, what the fuck happened to Venezuela? He was captured on U.S. forces January 26 as awaiting trial on charges of narco-terrorism. So who's in charge of Venezuela? Who is actively running Venezuela? What the fuck is going on in Venezuela? Gang, read the tweet. After Trump took out Maduro, Maduro's former VP now controls the country. Nothing domestically really changed. Oil continues to flow to China. U.S. oil companies are extremely hesitant to invest in Venezuela. Will Iran be any different without boots on the ground? So nothing happened. Following the capture, Maduro, Declan Rodriguez was sworn in as acting president. Who is this? Former vice president is now the president. Okay. So what? It's just like, was there boots? Was there? No, right? No. U.S. boots on the ground in Maduro operation. No, I think. Yes, there were. Okay. Word. President Trump said we had boots on the ground last night, referring to the operation that captured Maduro. Secretary of State Marco Rubio noted that forces were on the ground for about 2 hours. Whoa, Delta fucking Force came in and... Okay. So, in theory, you could do boots on the ground in a day. Get out in 2 hours. But that's not what Iran is, because there isn't like a single person that we have to capture. It's like a... All right. I actually have a lot of stuff we have to learn.
In the counter-ISIS campaign, around by the United States now for probably decades, but we did a lot of work together in the counter-ISIS campaign. So these forces know exactly how to work together. There's a base in Erbil, right, where they are. And look, it's all ready to go. The weapons are there. They'll be the most well-armed insurgents in history. That's all they need. A little bit of forward deployment from a couple special advisors. It's going to look like the special operations that went in October 2001 with the Taliban, or to defeat the Taliban. That's the theory, at least. But that is the recipe for quagmire, for disaster.
So is this a similar setup? 2001 to defeat the Taliban. How long was the initial goal of 2001 operation? The initial goal of 2001 operation Enduring Freedom, launched on October 7, 2001, was to dismantle the Al-Qaeda terrorist network, capture its leader Osama bin Laden, and overthrow the Taliban regime. So we're in a similar, like, overthrow the Taliban regime, but there isn't a very clear, like, what exactly that means. What was the All right, watch the video. Watch the video. The primary motivation was to destroy the safe haven that the Taliban provided to Al-Qaeda, specifically to capture or kill Osama bin Laden and dismantle the terrorist network responsible for 9/11 attacks. All right.
Faster for civil war, for collapse. And that is, look, if we are to acknowledge this is Israel's war, it is almost irrelevant to what Donald Trump wants. Only he can pull the plug. At least he did in the 12-day war. But of course, that was just a lead up to this entire thing.
It was a pause. Then we tried all of the internal, let's collapse the currency, let's stoke the protests, let's see if that'll work. And then when that failed, then we're back to a war. And yeah.
She really hates Trump. Like,
I mean, and with all of them, obviously they all lie, when if they're breathing, they're lying. But you can look at what they're doing. And to your point, we see this reporting about, let's talk to the Kurds. Let's kill the border guards and, open up that border so people can flood in. And then you also see in the targeting, they targeted Ahmadinejad, previous president of Iran. They targeted a jailed opposition leader who was under house arrest. So they wanted to make sure that this—
Give them trainings and weapons, by the way. Who?
Actually wasn't a regime change, that there was no other person who had any sort of legitimate base of support who could come in and take the reins, because Israel's goal is regime collapse. They don't want a strong Iran. They apparently don't believe they can really successfully install a puppet. So they just want it to be chaos, death, insanity, civil war, etc., so that they can, extend their regional hegemony. With that being said, we've got a lot more to get to, and we've got Dr. Trita Parsi standing by. So let's go ahead and bring him in.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave it.
Okay, this is like, I guess, but this is like 1970s, bro. 1954. I mean, does that count? Like these they gave him like muskets. I mean, they gave him they gave him cannons. Oh, he's referring to the Taliban. The U.S. did not directly train or supply the Taliban. The group acquired billions of dollars in U.S.-funded weapons and vehicles, including Black Hawk helicopters and M4 carbines, following the rapid collapse of the Afghan National Security Forces in 2021. How did they get Black Hawk helicopters? How much is a Black Hawk helicopter? Jesus. The U.S. left him there. Here we go. Jack wants to talk about stable coins. We're at war talking about stable coins. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. We learned yesterday that what we need to follow the closest is oil prices, which aren't going insane right now. Brent is global. Crude oil futures is US. If this rips really hard, it becomes a we problem. If it doesn't and just Brent rips, the US doesn't feel that much strain. Prices are fucking high though, I'm not gonna lie. Highest since June 25. And it was fucking candling this morning. I'm not gonna lie. I woke up and I'm like, Jesus. Here's Brent really candling. Highest since January 25 as well. I have a lot of tweets here to read, but I kind of want to just watch this. Do you guys want to just watch this? Because I'm like, all right, every time we watch a video, we just like get down some crazy rabbit hole, and we might as well just watch it right now and just like learn about we're learning about geopolitics. If you're not in the mood for geopolitics, then I'm sorry, but this is like what we have to do. Also, Bitcoin looks fire. Yes, but you have to read chat too. All right, this is a long one, fellas. Are you down for some fucking another hour of geopolitics? He's about to answer every question you just Googled. I mean, the more time we spend on this, the better we get, right? I didn't know what Brent was yesterday. Not Bretton Woods. I know what Bretton Woods is, but I didn't know what Brent was yesterday, and now we do. So we're like we're accelerating faster. We call this accelerated learning. Just don't pause it when answering chat. Fine. All right. I'm going to get up one more time really quick just so I can lock in. I'm going to get up. I'll be back in, I'll do 1.25. I'll be back in 30 seconds, and then we're going to we have a movie to watch. All right, BRB. All right. Let's lock in. Come on, Thread got me on my feels. Drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade. Driving in Yukon, dripping a Mike's Hard Lemonade. Dude. My ex-fave song, fuck you. Nah, bro. Y'all didn't break up. She broke you up, twin. That's all I got for you. W drunk driving, yeah. I was gonna make a drunk driving joke, but it's just not funny. So, all right, let's just fucking watch it, huh? Y'all in? Let's go. Let's just watch it. If it gets crazy or it's too much, just let me know. The red guy thinks he's Pete Hegseth with those bars. It's crazy. 1.25? 1.25 or 1.5? Y'all pick. I think 2.5 is ideal. It's 45 minutes. We'll see how much we can get through. I think 1.25 is the best. Yeah.
I hope everyone had a nice break, and welcome back.
He also talks fast, so get ready.
End of the world. So as you know, I hope everyone had a nice break, and welcome back to the end of the world. So as you know, World War III has started. The United States and Israel have started to attack Iran. And we are now in the 4th day of this war. And we can expect this war to last for many weeks, possibly also for many years. But I promise you that after this war is done, the world will never be the same again. So what we will do these next few weeks is use game theory and understand and analyze the geopolitical situation. And so I'm going to teach you the ideas, the theories, the techniques to understand the world around you and make predictions. And we can know if our analysis is correct because all this is happening in real time, and so we can test it against reality. All right? So let's go over some basic facts about what's happened so far. So I'm
almost positive he's a high school teacher. I think it's a high school class.
Early morning of Saturday in Tehran, the Israelis and Americans launched a decapitation strike against the Ayatollah Khamenei, who is the supreme leader of Iran. Now, there are arguments and disputes as to what happened. The Americans and Israelis said that they had real intelligence about where the leader was, and so they sent airplanes to just bomb the crap
like 30
out of the place.
adjacent.
They also had a spy who was able to record the body of the dead Ayatollah, and then this was announced. At first, the Iranians...
They had a spy that was able to record the dead body. Is that really true? I did not hear that.
Denied this, and the Iranians insisted he was still alive. But eventually, state media admitted that he did die in the airstrike. But then what they also said is that the Ayatollah, he's 86 years old, and he chose to die. He could have gone to Moscow, but instead he chose to stay in Tehran and die for his people. But not only that, but he died along many of his relatives. He died along with his daughter, his son-in-law, his grandchildren. So many of the family died in this assault. Also, there's been reporting that he had prostate cancer. Okay, so he was going to die fairly soon as well. So what you need to understand first about the war is that even though the Americans and the Israelis claim great success in decapitating the leadership of the Iranians, from the Iranian perspective, this is a martyrdom, okay?
He was already out.
And so the religion of the Iranians is called Shia Muslim. And this is different from Sunni Muslim. So Sunnis are the majority. They're about 9% of all Muslims in the world. The Shia have always been the minority. And as such, they've always been persecuted. So in the Shia faith, the core value, the force that binds everyone together and gives them purpose and meaning in life, that galvanizes them into action, is the idea of martyrdom, which forces jihad. You sacrifice yourself for your religion, sacrifice yourself for the common good. So think of the death of Khamenei as a sacrifice, a self-sacrifice, in order to motivate the Iranians in this war, okay? So that's the first thing you need to understand. That for the Iranians, this is not a geopolitical war. This is not an economic war. This is not a war of resistance. This is a jihad, okay? It's a war against the great Satan to avenge their leader. They will fight to the death, all right? That's number one. Number
Jeez.
two is this. Also that morning, when the Ayatollah was killed, the Israelis struck a school in the south of Tehran, killing about 150 school children. These are girls in primary school.
I feel like this headline got skipped over too, like pretty fast. There's like infinite headlines.
And again, there's a lot of debate and argument as to what happened. The Israelis said that, first of all, the school was next to a military base. We were targeting a military base. And second of all, it wasn't us which struck the school.
Is that intentional? That is dark. School, kid's school next to a military base is crazy.
It was a air defense missile that went off course, okay? And the Iranians insisted no. The Israelis purposefully attacked the school to kill the school children. And then you're like, why would the Israelis do that? But then these few years, well, we've seen what they've done in Gaza, in Palestine to the Palestinians. And it's pretty consistent what the Israelis have been doing, all right? So this action against the Israelis, it's meant to show to themselves and the world that we are now all in, okay? We've made the sacrifice. We are now committed to this war, to winning this war at all costs. And this action has also provoked the Iranian people to resist with their full might, okay? So I want you to keep this in mind. And again, we don't have complete evidence that it's the Israelis who did this. It's
like burning the boats.
But given past actions from the Israelis, this is fairly consistent with what they've done. Okay? So we can assume that this is something the Israelis did. Why they did this, what the purpose is something we will discuss as we move on. Okay? It's very complicated. Next, I want to show you this. This is Dubai. And Dubai is considered one of the wealthiest, safest cities in the world. There are thousands, tens of thousands of Westerners who move to Dubai because it's clean, you don't pay any taxes.
By the way, if he says some shit and you're like, what? He's fucking lying or capping or losing it, tell me and we could like Google and have a outer source tell us what we think.
You make a lot of money and there are great restaurants. And this is really the economic model.
It's great restaurants.
Model of Dubai. It's one of the GCC countries, okay? The Gulf coastal countries. And for the longest time, Dubai had a really good deal because they were under the protection of the American military. So they didn't have to pay for defense. And then they were in the Middle East, which is the oil producing center of the world. And so they focus on aviation, they focus on logistics, they focus on finance, on tourism. And they're extremely wealthy, right? I'm not sure if you've taken Emirates, one of the best airlines in the world. So their airport, Dubai Airport, is the busiest in the world. And
busiest airport in the world.
Dubai, for the longest time, was flourishing under American protection. And Dubai said to the world, listen, we're like Switzerland. We're neutral. We don't want any involvement in any wars. We're here just to take care of our citizens, to make sure everyone has a good time, to make money. And then right after the war started, the Iranians attacked the GCC, okay? Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, they attacked these places. And these places were like, what's going on? We're neutral, man. We're not involved in this war. And the airport was shut down in Dubai.
Let's see. Okay.
At one point, the rich people in Dubai were willing to pay about $250,000 US just to get on a plane and get out of there. Okay? So, US dollars. At one point, The rich people in Dubai were willing to pay about $250,000 US dollars just to get on a plane and get out of there. Okay?
Jesus.
So
this is like 2 days ago, right? 2 days ago.
The reality is this: for the longest time, Dubai had a reputation for being safe, and that's why people moved their money there. Guess what, guys? After what the Iranians did, it's dead. Dubai as a city, in the long term, it is dead. Because you're a wealthy Westerner, you're not going to move to a place where it could be attacked any time by the Iranians.
Whoa!
You might move to Singapore, you might move to Hong Kong, Japan, South America, but you're not moving to Dubai, okay? So the big question for us...
That feels a little bit overblown, no? Dubai's dead forever. That feels a little bit overblown. He has a point if war continues. Yeah, fair. But at this stage, bro, you moved to where you could get bombed. Yeah, fair. But like, there's not that. If you're leaving the US already for taxes, there's not that many places to go, bro. You can't live in Europe. They'll arrest you for a tweet. There isn't that many places to go. But what do I know?
Is why do the Iranians do this? It was the Israelis and Americans who attacked you. Why go after the GCC? All right? And not only that, but they're escalating the attacks against the GCC.
So we've decided the GCC is like this Abu Dhabi, Dubai, like surrounding. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman. Okay. Got it.
So this is something that we will look at very closely today. Well, the short answer is because
so we thought that they would be they'd be out of this, and the U.S. protects Dubai. U.S. military protects Dubai, so you assume that Dubai is not going to get involved in this because they act like Switzerland. They're neutral and everything.
Places, even though they pretend to be neutral, they house the American military. They allow the Israelis and Americans to use their airspace to attack Iran from. All right. So this is Bahrain. Now, Bahrain is interesting, okay? Because I want you guys to remember this. But Bahrain will probably be one of the major centers of this conflict. Because, first of all, this is the American Fifth Fleet. All right? This is their naval base in the Middle East. And as you can see...
Wait, let's see. Okay.
But Bahrain will probably be one of the major centers of this conflict. Because, first of all, this is the American Fifth Fleet. All right, this is their naval base in the Middle East. And as you can see, the Iranians are attacking it with missiles. And it's being blown up. Bahrain is interesting because it has about 50% or even more, okay, Shia, which is the religion of the Iranians. But the people in charge are the Sunnis. And so what makes this strike really important from our perspective is, first of all, not only are the Iranians attacking U.S. military assets, not only are they destroying the economies of the GCC, but they're also trying to ignite a religious war, right? Because you're Shia, you're loyal to the Ayatollah. And if he's dead, then you must, as a religious obligation, now commit jihad against your enemies. It's no different in other religions where, listen, if you want to kill the Pope, the Catholics would be really angry at you and they would want to kill you, right? So now you have the Shia who will probably eventually arise, creating a revolution in Bahrain, okay? So I think Bahrain will be the first to fall. Dubai will probably go bankrupt, okay? But
Dubai will probably go bankrupt over what period of time?
In the long term, we can expect the entire GCC area, including Saudi Arabia, to eventually collapse, okay? And so this is something we'll use game theory to understand. All right, let's continue. So we will know how this war develops just based on geography.
He just like ripped
so
that, okay, Dubai's gonna go bankrupt. Like that was like he just like dropped that and kept going. No context.
And this map, even if you don't really know the war, even if you don't know the participants, even if you don't know the weaponry, this map will tell you exactly how this war will progress. All right, so some certain things to keep in mind about this map. This is what we call this area, okay, really small, but it's 33 kilometers wide, okay? People can swim across it. It's really, really narrow, okay? This small area, guys, it's called the Strait of Hormuz.
Okay, we know about this.
All right?
Hormuz. We know about the Strait of Hormuz. All the oil flows through.
And it's important because
it's closed right now.
It's really the center of the world. This one area is the nexus, the pivot of the world. Let me explain why. First of all, from the GCC, you have 20% of all the world's oil flowing through this narrow strait. Where does it go, guys? It goes to Asia, India, Pakistan, South Korea, China, Japan. India depends on 60% of its oil from this area.
20% of the world's oil is
40%. Japan, 75%. Prime Minister Takeichi of Japan has said that, listen, if the Strait of Hormuz closes, we're going to have oil in about 8-9 months. The entire Japanese economy would collapse in 8-9 months if the Strait of Hormuz were to close. And guess
I'm confused on it because, like, you see conflicting, like, Hormuz traffic. 7-day moving average is down only. Daily is, like, nothing. And then here's this clip that says, Iran has announced it'll only allow China to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, which is unclear if this is true or not. And then there's a follow-up, which is that Trump is basically going to give, like, escort insurance for ships flowing through. And so it's like, is it open or is it not? And then here's oil, here's bread, and here's crude oil futures.
Guess what? The Iranians have closed the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? So we can expect that the entire, guess what? The Iranians have closed.
So have they closed it or no? I'm seeing conflicting reports on this. 75% of Japan's oil, 20% of the world's oil. I'm seeing conflicting reports that, like, certain people are allowed through. It's too big to literally fucking put the bridge down and close it. The U.S. is escorting ships through. So, like, it doesn't seem like it's closed. But
the Strait of Hormuz.
I'm going to spell this shit wrong and people are going to make fun of me. How do I still spell it wrong? What's like a recent headline on this? 17 hours? Like, bro. It's closed, but like Trump can go through? US can go through?
Okay? So we can expect that the entire global economy will suffer greatly over the next few months. All right? So that's point number one.
But
Point
it's
number
not
two
closed.
is, okay, so the GCC sends oil across the Strait of Hormuz, and what do they get back in return? Food, guys. All right, so
it's like sort of close.
People don't appreciate the GCC, but it is really the linchpin of the American empire. Because what is the American empire? The American empire is the petrodollar. All right? The idea of the petrodollar is this. The US dollar is worth nothing. It's only valuable if people want it.
Oil dollars.
But the GCC says that if you want oil from us, you have to pay us in US dollars. Okay? Then that is the basis of the value of the US dollar. So, if the GCC collapses, the American economy and the American empire both collapse at the same time. The problem, though, is that GCC is an artificial construct of empire. It does not exist naturally. Why? Because there's no food, there's no oil, no water. Okay, guys? No food, no water. So these cities are able to grow in the millions because of all these petrodollars flowing in.
Why don't they make flying ships, though? Like planes?
If you close off the Strait of Hormuz, there's no food coming in, right? They're all going to starve. How much food does the GCC get from overseas? 80%. 80% of all the food it consumes comes from overseas that it imports. It doesn't grow by itself, it imports. All right? So the Strait of Hormuz is really key. And again, the Iranians will close it in order to strangle the global economy and therefore bankrupt the American empire.
What does it exactly mean to close it? Like, who's closing it? Like, what does that literally mean? Okay, it's closed. Like, okay. Like, the mall doors are closed? Like, what does that literally mean?
All right. Second thing you will notice is these mountains. These mountains is what we call Iran. All right, this is Iran. This is GCC. Okay, this is not a fair matchup, right? Because these are mountains. And what can you do in mountains?
It means they'll blow you up if you try to slide through, but like if your country's gonna starve, aren't you you're gonna go back? I mean, you have missiles too, don't they? You have drones as well. Do we just go to war like on the strait?
Hide rocket bases. You can hide drone bases. You can hide missiles. And that's the entire Iranian offensive strategy. All right? From here, they can hide missiles and drones from which to attack the GCC. And what are they attacking? They're attacking three things, right? They're attacking American military bases. American military bases. That's number one. Okay? Is it possible for the Americans to defend against these attacks? The answer is no. It's not. It's the silliest thing in the world. You have all these bases in the Middle East, but you cannot defend them against the Iranians. That's kind of strange. Okay, that's number one. Number two is
why?
Oil and energy.
Why? That was like a crazy. Why can't U.S. military bases in Middle East defend themselves against Iran? Don't you have drones too? Due to a combination of high volume, low swarm tactics, a shortage of interceptor missiles, and strategic positioning of U.S. forces. While air defenses are effective at intercepting many threats, Iran has managed to bypass defenses by overwhelming numbers of... Oh, that's this clip.
They are producing, by some estimates, over 100 of these missiles a month. Compare that to the 6 or 7 interceptors that can be built a month. They can build 100 of these a month, not to mention the thousands of one-way attack drones that they also have.
Wait, has Iran strike U.S. Middle East base yet? No. They have a lot. Okay. They striked every single base. Okay, 6 soldiers were killed in Iranian strike. In Kuwait. Oh, okay. Okay, now I'm following. Okay. Got it. Damn. And so you're telling me that we have how many people are stationed and they can't defend them at all? How many U.S. military stationed in Middle East bases? So what's the... U.S. has over 40,000 soldiers. Why are they there if they can't defend themselves?
How hard is it to blow up an oil field with a drone?
Wait, go back.
Not hard. Is it possible for the Americans to defend against these attacks? The answer is no. It's not. It's the silliest thing in the world. You have all these bases in the Middle East, but you cannot defend them against the Iranians. That's kind of strange.
That is strange.
Okay, that's number one. Number two is oil and energy. How hard is it to blow up an oil field with a drone? Not hard at all. Can you defend these oil fields? No, you cannot.
Whose oil fields? These aren't U.S. oil fields. Whose oil fields are they?
Oil and energy. How hard is it to blow up an oil field with a drone? Not hard at all. Can you defend these oil fields? No, you cannot.
Oh, it's the GCC's oil fields. Got it. Who was protected from U.S. military who Iran is going after and striking. Got it. So they would just fucking blow up their oil fields?
3, and the most important, is water. Okay? You guys don't know this, but the GCC has little access to fresh water.
Oh, no.
So the only way that it can produce water is what we call desalination plants, okay? These factories that take salt water and then through electrochemical process turn it into fresh water for the population to use.
Hold on. Is U.S. allied with all of GCC? The United States is considered an ally to all 6 members of the Gulf of the GCC. And so the GCC is saying, we're Switzerland. We aren't involved. Leave us alone. And Iran is saying, no. The U.S. protects you. You are not Switzerland. You're involved by proxy. And so the U.S. is basically responsible for taking care of this GCC. But Iran, they can't defend themselves. And so they also host U.S. bases. And so Iran is striking all of them and then is going to blow up their oil fields. And which probably exports oil to the U.S. Wait, how much oil is exported from GCC to U.S.? Okay, not that much. 8%. 5 to 8%. U.S. least affected by the oil. What are they most affected by then? Just like their bases and getting deeper in? U.S. affected by GCC getting attacked by Iran. Okay. Back.
Use.
Not much from GCC to us, but to Europe. That means Europe is going to buy their oil from Russia, and that strengthens Russia.
60%
Wait,
of
go back.
fresh water.
Okay, they can't,
So the only way that they can produce water is what we call desalination plants. Okay,
Desalination
these
plants.
factories that take salt water and then through electrical chemical process turn it into fresh water for the population to use. 60% of the water supply in the GCC comes from desalination plants. Okay, 60%.
60%.
Is it hard to blow up this desalination plant using a drone? The answer is it's very easy. You understand?
No.
Okay? So you have this absurd situation where Iran is a mountain fortress where it can hide its offensive capacity, and the GCC, it's just this dead.
So they could basically blow up U.S. bases in the Middle East, oil fields, and water, where they get 60% of their water from these desalination plants, and they can't stop it.
This flat desert, and it is exposed to attack, and there's nothing it can do about it. Okay? So at any point in this war,
has this happened yet?
They can choose to just destroy the entire GCC, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. Okay, but Iran also has a weakness. Okay, and this is fundamental. So Iran also.
Wait, one more before we get to Iran weakness. GCC water plant blown up. Yes or no? No. Oh, no. No. Wait. It was an oil plant. Yeah, I need to start asking Claude. Wait. So apologize for the pauses, but this is like I need to like have any oil fields or water plants in the GCC been blown up by Iran yet? And how many U.S. military bases in Middle East have been struck? Wait, let's get this down real quick. By the way, YouTube chat, you guys are typing a lot. You got twitch.tv/threadguy if you want. Wait, let's read this and we'll keep going. Here's the situation. It's March 3rd. On March 2nd, Iranian drone struck Qatar's LNG complex, forcing Qatar Energy to halt production. Saudi Aramco shut down Ras Tunara, its biggest domestic refinery. So energy. So energy's been struck, not water. U.S. bases. Iran claims 27 targeted. IRGC says it launched attacks to 27 bases. Wow. Does this sound like it's going to be done in 72 hours, chat? 6 service members killed, 18 injured as of Monday. This is escalating fast. Iran went from targeting military assets to energy infra in under 72 hours. Reliant is the U.S. on energy infra in the GCC. Jeez. No way, they just booted me off Claude. It's insane. You just saw that happen. All right, let's just keep going. That was insane.
Also has a water problem, okay? Iranians can choose to just destroy the entire GCC, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. Okay, but Iran also has a weakness, okay? And this is fundamental. So Iran also has a water problem, okay? So for the longest time, they suffered a drought issue. Okay, just climate change. And so what the plan of the Israelis and Americans is destroy the water supply of the Iranians. Because dude, the fortress, it is a mountain fortress, but it can also be a mountain prison as well, where people are trapped inside with no access to water. Okay, so what we're going to see right now, we're already seeing attacks on civilian infrastructure, hospitals. In the future, you'll see attacks on water supply, on dams, on reservoirs, on power plants. The point, the idea is to make Iran so inhabitable that the people will have to rebel against the people, or there'll be a refugee crisis in Iran. Okay? So as you can see from this map, this war, it is the end of the world. Okay?
And why are we in this war again? To stop their nuclear facilities was 1. Regime change was 2. And then we were going to get... strike, so we just had to strike first.
From this map, this war, it is the end of the world. Okay? Both sides have the potential to destroy each other. It's really a question of how far do they want to go. All right? We can also say this is almost a game of chicken. Okay?
Oh, not a game of chicken.
We can blow each other up. How far do you want to go? And the problem is this. The problem is that the Iranians are Shia, which believes in martyrdom. And you've killed the religious leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei. So they're willing to go very, very far. The GCC countries are Muslim, but they're materialistic. They love money. And also, most of the population are expatriates, foreigners. 90% of Dubai are foreigners. Guess what's going to happen if they suffer? They're going to run away. Okay?
Damn, everybody is leaving Dubai. Fuck. Chat, are any of you guys in Dubai? What is the scene right now?
Fair matchup. The big question that people have is, first of all, are the Americans going to use ground troops?
Please no.
Because the only way that you can defeat Iran is by using ground troops, okay? That's a big question.
What is, I still don't know what defeat means. Somebody explain to me defeat. What is the definition of defeat? I'm still looking for this definition. We're like 5 videos in. What does defeat mean?
Oops. Because the only way that you can defeat Iran is by using ground troops, okay? That's a big question we'll look at in the next few weeks. Will America send its army? 500,000, 2 million soldiers to topple the government? Okay, that's question number 1. Question number 2, nuclear weapons.
Stop.
If you're losing a war, would you choose to use nuclear weapons? Okay, that's another big question that we have, okay? Another big question that we have is who gets involved? Because this situation is so dire that Europe, okay, specifically Germany, France, and Britain are talking about entering this war.
Didn't he say he fucking hated Trump, England?
So has UK. Now, the second one is shocking, but this is not the age of Churchill. I will say the UK has been very, very uncooperative with that stupid island that they have, that they gave away and took a 100-year lease, having to do with perhaps indigenous people claiming the island that never even saw the island before. What's that all about? And they ruin relationships. It's a shame. It's
so what? Okay, so he shits on the UK. He tells Spain to go fuck themselves, right?
About it, Germany, everybody, and Spain didn't do it, and now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We don't. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it.
Does this sound like it's going to last 72 hours?
But we don't have to. But they were unfriendly, and so I told him we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything.
Okay. And then what about Germany? Bitcoin, what the fuck? Oh my God. Dude. You got to get a reaction at past 70s. This isn't Saylor anymore, I don't think. Past 70s, you need a reaction. Germany, Trump.
And you know, European, like Spain has been terrible. In fact, I told Scott to cut off.
What did he say about Germany? Okay. Germany's helping. Okay. And then Bitcoin's helping too. Okay, let's go back a few.
Situation is so.
By the way, I feel like this is where, whether the guy's right or not about everything, we're like getting like some context.
Now, another big question that we have is who gets involved?
Okay, who gets?
Because
so we now know. Okay. The GCC, which is all these Middle East countries, and then Iran can basically destroy each other. Iran is going after the GCC because the U.S. they're basically a proxy of the U.S. because the U.S. military protects these people, and they could go after the oil fields, they can go after the water supply, and there is also a significant amount of U.S. military bases and none of these three can protect themselves. At the same time, Iran is this sort of like geographically protected mountain where they're hard to get to, but it's also hard to get out of there. And so these two could basically destroy each other. The question that he laid out is the U.S. going to use troops on the ground, which we probably need to do. And then what he's now, we would probably need to do to solve our unknown objective here. And then the question he's now laying out is who else gets involved?
This situation is
that sounds about right to where we're at. I think so.
So dire is that Europe, okay, specifically Germany, France, and Britain.
Germany, France, and Britain
are talking about entering this war. And guess what? If that happens, it is possible that Russia and China will also enter this war on the side of the Iranians. This is World War III, okay? Because of the importance of the Strait of Hormuz, because of the importance of the Middle East, everyone has to get involved at some point.
Why are we
doing this game theory
again?
To really try to understand what's happening on the ground and where this could lead us.
Okay.
All right, you guys understand? All right, let's continue. Okay, so again, there are American bases all over the Middle East
that can't protect themselves from
and
anything.
Originally, these bases were established to protect them from basically their own people, okay? These are monarchies that were imposed on these nations by the Anglo-American Empire, the British first, and then the Americans came to support these monarchies. And so they provide defense. But then you're like, wait a minute here. I mean, didn't we just say that these American bases can't actually defend these people, that they're exposed? And the answer is, yes, that's true. But remember, like the American military was built during the Cold War, okay? And the Cold War was a war between the Soviet Union and America. And so the Cold War was defined as something called MAD, mutually assured destruction, because both had nuclear weapons, okay? So they didn't really go to war against each other. And so in other words, these bases aren't really meant to defend these nations from other enemies. They're really meant to impose American authority in the Middle East, okay? And it's the idea of—
But what authority is being imposed if they can't protect themselves from modern weapons? I don't understand. Like, what is their purpose?
It's the idea that empire, it is really a image. It is a hallucination. It's just an idea.
It's like posture.
Empire is it's an aura of invincibility and invincibility, okay? If you fear it, then you obey it.
So we can attack any country over there. Okay, but if you can't defend yourself from an attack, then what are we really doing here? This is the problem. I know, but like, did we not realize there was a problem until right now? More offensive than defensive. Okay, I got it.
But it's not really designed to fight a war, okay?
Also, like, they went into, they striked Iran knowing that we have all 40,000 U.S. soldiers deployed to these military bases that can't defend themselves. Like, we knew this when we did the strike.
And so that's why we have this absurd situation. And because there are so many bases in the GCC, that gives the Iranians the perfect pretext to attack them in order to destroy the GCC economy, which will destroy the American empire.
Got it.
Right?
Well, how does it destroy the American empire? That feels like one step of crazy. Like, that's a big jump, right? From military bases in the Middle East being a proxy for the American empire. It feels like a little bit of a jump.
This is how the war is shaping out, okay? So the red is the Israelis and the Americans. The yellow are the Iranians. And as you can see, the Iranians are attacking everywhere. Primarily Israel, okay? But also, as you can see, a lot of folks are so the red is the Israelis and the Americans. The yellow are the Iranians. And as you can see, the Iranians are attacking everywhere. Primarily Israel, okay? But also, as you can see, a lot of focus on Bahrain and Qatar. And again, the intention
Why don't they care
is
about
to
Saudi Arabia? There's
destabilize
nothing on Saudi Arabia. Zero.
The economy and the government. Okay, it's to try to get as much instability as possible. All right? Okay, and as you can see, the Americans and the Israelis are focused on Tehran. And so the Americans and the Israelis use something we call shock and awe.
Harder target.
And the very idea of shock and awe is you decapitate the enemy. You cut off the head, the body will fall down, okay? The problem, though, is, again, the Iranians see this as a religious war. And so the Iranians have announced total war. Okay? And so what this means is that right now command and control in Iran is decentralized. There's no one person telling everyone what to do. Every region has its own orders, has its own strategy.
Regime change.
And so you knock out Tehran, everyone else keeps on going. So if you take off the head, it doesn't change anything. Okay? But unfortunately, the Israelis and Americans use this as a military doctrine.
Ethereum World Computer mentioned.
The Israelis and Americans use this as a military doctrine. Military doctrine just means how you design your military for what purpose. And so even though the Americans seem like an invincible army, they are not equipped to fight a 21st century war against drones, against destabilization, against religious fanatics. Okay, they're just not.
How would they not have the military for? How would they not have the military for 21st century war? Like what are they equipped for then?
But unfortunately, because of military doctrine, they're going to keep on attacking Tehran. Now, the great irony of all this is that the Iranians who would be most supportive of regime change, are actually in the cities because they are educated, they're progressive. The people who are most fundamentally against you, will fight you to the death, are religious fanatics, the Shia militants living in the rural areas. Okay? So this is a really silly thing where you're actually destroying those who will most likely support you, and you're leaving.
And who you actually want to go after is like scattered in terrain.
Alone, like those who are most
actual terrain,
likely to commit jihad against you. All right.
Huh.
Any questions so far, guys?
No,
Are you clear?
Answered it. You're good.
All right. So another idea that I want you guys to understand is the idea of asymmetry. Asymmetry. All right. So what is asymmetry? Asymmetry means that the two sides are choosing to fight different wars using different techniques because one is much stronger than the other, okay? America is a great empire. It has unlimited resources. It has a USD. It controls the world, right? Iran is a country that has been under economic sanctions for the past 45 years. It's poor. Its technology is very limited, okay? But as we learn in this class, actually, those nations that are poor actually have more energy. They're more open, and they're more cohesive. All right, so let me give an example. This is what we call the Shahad drones. Shahad drones. Each of these drones costs $50,000 at most, okay? At most. It can go as cheap as $35,000 US.
Is that what we're looking at right here? Or no? Is that what we're looking at right here? These are $50,000 drones, or that's not it?
It's $50,000. Okay. As you can see, you can fit a lot of these drones to a truck that can go anywhere in Iran, and they can hide anywhere. All right. So the thing to understand is, first of all, these drones are cheap. They're easy to make. They make about 500 a day. Okay. Whoa. And estimates are about there's 80,000 right now that the Iranians have. So they've been going for a long, long time. Okay, and one of these drones, again, can knock out a desalination plant. It can knock out an oil field. It can knock out a hotel. It can do a lot of damage. Okay, and it's easily transportable. You can hide it anywhere. You can use it from anywhere. Okay, and that's what the Iranians are using as an offensive weapon. And how do the Americans defend against this? They use something called the THAAD. Right?
Is there a video I could watch of one of these drones that isn't like gonna get me banned on Twitch or cause crazy like Shahid drone? Yes, they're still flying around Ukraine. I live here. Whoa. $20,000 and $50,000 per unit. Whoa. I gotta be careful with like showing the drone on Twitch, showing the drone attacks. DNAP, see if you can find me one I could watch.
And how do the Americans defend against this?
Okay, $50,000.
They use something called a THAAD.
Use a THAAD.
Right, guys. This is what they use.
Holy
THAAD.
Fuck.
THAAD stands for Thermal High Altitude Air Defense. And they also have like Patriot systems. There's a lot, okay? The thing that you need to know about the system is it's really expensive. This missile, guys, costs $1 million.
No.
$1 million.
Oh.
So there's this $50,000 drone coming your way, and you throw a $1 million missile at it, okay? And often these missiles miss, so you have to throw 2 or 3 missiles at it, okay? So you're spending $2 to $3 million on each $50,000 that the Iranians spend.
Oh.
That's kind of silly. Second thing you'll notice is that...
Why can't we fire a Shahed missile back? Why are we using this $1 million missile? Why can't we just fire the drone back? Because you have to hit a moving projectile in the air. But couldn't you fire, like, you could fire 10 of the drones, the same drone, back at that singular drone. 10 of them. And blow it up for, like, a fifth of the cost.
This thing...
Wait, DNAP, what's the video? Can I watch this? It's harder to hit a moving target. So the offensive just has, like, edge, because it's way harder to hit a moving target. Dude, what the fuck is this? Come on, dude. I thought you had a fucking video for us. What the fuck is this? What is this? Oh, that's not what he sent? Wait, how did that... Wait. Oh, okay. Sentinel Drone of USA. Whoa. In 2011, Iran hacked it and made it to land in Iran by false GPS coordinates. Then Iran had reverse engineered this mysterious new tech and design to develop their Shahed drone. How do I pronounce it? To develop their drones. They're now the biggest headache for US and Iran's enemies. Whoa. Shahed. Holy fuck. Wait, please find me a video to play of one of these. I have to see it in action. Wow. Shahed. I'm saying Shahed. Shahed. Please find a video I could watch. Okay. Back up.
Okay? So you're spending $2 to $3 million...
So we don't even have this tech.
...on each $50,000 that the Iranians spend. That's kind of silly. Second thing you'll notice is that...
Okay, sorry for pausing it so many times, but we have to... I have to, like, get the sense here. Sorry for pausing it so many times. I'll stop in a minute.
Dubai. The night built kamikaze drone, loitering munition, and inertial from ground racks. It flies a pre-programmed route using satellite and inertial guidance, then detonates on impact.
Oh my god.
Holy fuck.
From ground racks, it flies a pre-programmed route using satellite and inertial guidance, then detonates on impact.
Oh my god.
Its estimated range is up to 2,000.
Oh, that thing is huge, bro.
Kilometers. It can. Its estimated range is up to 2,000 kilometers.
How many miles is 2,000 km? Oh, but 1,200 miles? How many miles is full USA? It could fly from, like, Florida to fucking Texas, dude. Dude, wait. Dude. $115 miles per hour. We go 1,200 miles and a single
signature. Iran can force action of that.
They cost $50,000 to make and $3 million to shoot down. Got it. Do you feel weird about holding Palantir? No, I probably feel better, bro. What? What the fuck is Palantir? What does Palantir do that then? All right, let's go.
3 missiles added, okay?
Okay.
So you're spending
we have an idea now. If you go 1,300 miles at 150 miles per hour.
$3 million on each $50,000 that they're going to spend. That's kind of silly. Second thing you'll notice is that this thing is really big
that thing is
and really
huge.
slow. And therefore, you can't really move it around. Therefore, it's pretty easy for the Iranians to spot where this is and attack it. And then when these things blow up, that's a lot of money, guys. Okay? Then you're like, what? But this makes no sense. You know the Iranians have drones. They've had drones for like 10 years. You've also seen drones used in the Russia-Ukraine war to devastating effect. Why don't the Americans know this?
Yes.
Why did they prepare?
Yes,
okay, and again, it has to do with military doctrine. Because military doctrine determines how you fight a war, it determines on your bureaucracy, and it determines how you spend your resources, okay? And unfortunately, the Americans are used to fighting something called the Cold War. Right? And the Cold War, because you
so like the U.S. knew what they had. Like we didn't strike Iran and be like, oh, what? They have this mythical weapon we've never seen. It's like, no, this has been used. We've seen this. We know that this exists. But we're like jarred by the fact that they have it.
The Americans are used to fighting something called the Cold War. Right? And the Cold War, because you can actually fight the war. You can actually use, kill each other because then people use nuclear weapons. The Cold War was about flexing. Flexing, okay? You see how big and powerful I am? Me! Okay? That's all it was. You see how big and powerful I am? Me! Okay? That's all it was. These weapon systems are designed to scare the crap out of you. They are designed to impress you. And as a result, they cost a lot of money, and they really don't do anything, all right? So that's the entire American military. It costs a lot, and it doesn't really do anything. And it's not resilient. It's not innovative. It's not open. Right? Also, the other thing I have to say this, okay, is if you look
how true is this? How is it possible that Iran has drones that we don't have? How is that possible? I like am unwilling to accept that as fact. Also, how did we go in and capture Maduro in 1 second? I mean, what the fuck have we been doing? I thought we have the strong. There's a clip from this guy. Hold on. What happened to this? What happened to this clip? Oh, it's like a TikTok. You know what I'm talking about? Here it is. Here.
If the entire world were to get together and say, let's go fight the United States, the world would lose.
What happened to this? I thought we were on this.
American military, it's corrupt. So, and it's not resilient. It's not innovative. It's not open. All right? Also, the other thing I have to say this, okay, is if you look at the American military, it's corrupt. So this is really about corruption. So the Americans don't really care about winning a war. What they care about is spending as much money as possible because then they get a cut. It doesn't make sense. Right? And that's why the Americans are in the situation as they are. All right, let's continue. All right. So something that people don't really talk about, but you need to understand, it's the water issue in the GCC, in the Middle East, in Iraq. All right. So this is a map of the world. And if you are...
Dude, is this like deep propaganda, or are we really like...
Light blue, Brazil, Canada, you have nothing to worry about because you have a lot of water, a lot of fresh water, very little population. All right? So, 100%.
Tulip King and Daniel, if you could find some positive war propaganda for me for when this thing is done, that'd be awesome.
Just means 100% water stress just means that you drink as much water as the environment produces. Okay? So you want to be below 100% to be sustainable. Ideally, you want to be at 10%. Okay? If it goes above 100%, it means that you are drinking more water, using more water than the environment actually produces. Okay? So you're putting stress on the environment. So 20% is really bad, right? Because you're using twice as much water as the environment produces. Guess what, guys? Look at the Middle East, okay? Egypt. 6,420%.
Oh.
Saudi Arabia, 883%.
Oh.
All right? Bahrain.
How much water they
almost
consume to
4,000%. Dubai, 17,000%.
Oh.
All right?
Oh.
So water is a huge issue. Again, it doesn't matter if Iran kills American soldiers, destroys American military. It doesn't have to do that. All it has to do is destroy the desalination plants. And then the GCC is destroyed, okay? But it's also true that Iran has water issues. 72% is pretty bad, okay? So even though the Iranians could destroy the GCC much faster than the Americans could destroy Iran, Iran is still in trouble, okay? So let me give you an example of this. This is like, so this is another map that shows you the issue of water scarcity, okay? It's just basically the Middle East, okay? Their biggest issue in the future is water, okay? And that's where the geopolitical tensions will arise in the future over water. India is also affected as well, okay?
That's insane. I haven't thought about water as a war-bearing reason, like, ever. I've never thought about this once. Just being a reason for like world wars, water.
All right. So
that's crazy. Are we really here right now? We're just gonna fucking blow up everyone's water plants. Everyone's gonna starve.
Let's look at the map, guys. This is called Lake Urmia in northern Iran. It's the 6th largest saltwater lake in the world.
Wait, can you like long water? Is there like a PHO? Is this thing ripping? The fuck is this? Oh. Dude, what? Seriously? FIW? Bruh, you're lying. This is all just up only? Why have we never talked about water? Like, what the fuck is this? CGW? Guys, what? Seriously? You were not trolling when you said Burry's long water? Dude, what the fuck? Dude. From The Big Short to Big Thirst, Michael Burry bet his 2008 fortune on water in August 2009. Or in August 9th, 2025. Dude, it's like up only. What's the third one? AQWA, Global Clean Water, AQWA. Global Clean Water ETF. Bro, are you fucking kidding me? Okay. No one told me water was... All right.
Okay, this is what it was in 1984. This is the shallow, this is the deep, okay? You guys see that? It's really big, right? 20 years later, guys, this is what it looks like.
All right, wait, I have a headline for you guys. Thank you, DNAP. It's not a fucking good one. CIA is reportedly arming Kurdish forces with the goal of instigating a popular uprising in Iran. This doesn't feel like 72 hours, bro. My God.
In 1984. This is the shallow, this is the deep, okay? You guys see that? It's really big, right? 20 years later, guys, this is what it looks like. There's no more water here. You can walk from here over to there, okay? There's some water over here, but it's shallow now. That's how serious the water issue is in Iran.
What?
And that's the weak point that the Americans and the Israelis will attack. All right?
So
they want to make sure that Iran has no access to fresh water, which will cause devastation in their nation. Okay, that's strategy number one. Strategy number two is this. This is a map of the different ethnic minorities in Iran. As you can see, it's a very diverse place. In the center are the Persians, but you also have 10 other groups as well. And in the borderlands, it's basically a different country, right? Like, these are basically different countries. And so these places have more common areas with their neighbors than they do with Iran. Okay, so the second weakness of Iran. The first is the water. The second is the ethnic makeup of the country. So the strategy of the Americans and the Israelis moving forward is to destroy Iran as a coherent nation state, divided into ethnic enclaves, and have them fight over water. That is the grand plan of the Israelis and the Americans. Okay. All right. This is the vision where Persia is limited, and then all these other places are sponsored by the Americans and the Israelis. They're given money, they're given weapons, they're given political support, and then this war will wage over water forever.
Over water forever.
And this is how you destroy Iran and make sure Iran is no longer a viable threat to you. That is the plan of the Americans. Okay. As you can see, it's a pretty evil plan, and that's why they have not announced it, right? Because if you announce it, you're like, why are you doing this? What did the Persians, what did the Iranians ever do to you to warrant you coming and destroying their civilization? And the answer is nothing, right? So the Americans and Israelis will never admit they're doing this, but if you look at the map of water supply, of ethnic tensions, this is the optimal game theory strategy for them to use against Iran. Okay, does that make sense? This is a long-term plan that they have in place. And it's all moving towards this plan. But now the question then is, how can the Iranians respond to this? And the answer is this.
Blow everyone else's
This is the map of the Muslim world. Okay? So the light green are the Sunni people. Okay? That's 90% of the entire Muslim population, about 2 billion people. Okay? Then you have in dark green the Shia. So as you can see, the main place of the Shia is Iran. Okay? Iran is one of the few Shia nations in the world. But you can also see from this map that Shia are spread throughout the world. Okay? And so the first thing that the Iranians want to do is create a jihad to unite all the Shia against the American empire. All right? So what they want to do is create an uprising.
They're mostly just in Iran.
And it's already happening, guys.
Look up the Lucas drone the U.S. has. DNAP or Tulip King, check that out. Lucas drone.
The Shia in Pakistan.
If you have any more positive propaganda for U.S., please send me it. I'm down to keep looking up shit.
Pakistan stormed the American embassy. It's already happening, guys. The Shia in Pakistan stormed the American embassy in Pakistan. And the Americans killed a lot of people, okay? The Shia have attacked the American embassy in Iraq.
Okay.
The American embassy are being attacked in a lot of places. Right? So the first strategy is to create a...
So this propaganda, I don't know what this is. I'm just trying to learn what's going on. And I have learned. I just don't know what type of learning we're doing. But I'm fucking engaged. I feel like I've learned more about geopolitics in 2 days than I ever have in my life.
National global jihad of the Shia against the American empire. And it's already happening. It will continue for a long time, because the Americans have killed the Khamenei. Okay? And that requires vengeance.
Leader of Iran.
The other thing, though, is that it can unify the Muslim world. Okay? If you look at this map, most of the Muslim world is actually run by...
have Tulip King. Russian commentators are sounding the alarm over America's use of a new kamikaze drone against Iran. The low-cost unmanned combat attack system. Lucas. They note that it has appeared to have integrated Starlink terminal and warn that it's a serious threat to Russia. The drones run on satellite network. That's separate from Starlink. The use of Lucas defense against Iran was announced yesterday by CENTCOM. This is the first time the drone's been deployed in combat. It's reportedly reverse engineered. No, we reverse engineered them back, bro. Stop. Nah, the reverse engineer, the double? Nah. The use of Lucas drones against Iran was announced yesterday by CENTCOM. It's the first time that the drone has been deployed in combat. It's reportedly reverse engineered from the Iranian Shahed 136. Nah! Wow, they sent that shit back. Obsessed with war rights. Okay. A Russian engineer calls it a very serious wake-up call. You could even say it's a warning bell. Nah, we stole that shit back. The fact is the latest Starlink modification. That's crazy. So everyone just like reverse engineering everyone's tech and just like legging up. It's extremely narrow communication beam, which is difficult to detect and virtually impossible to jam. The cost is pennies compared to that of a UAV. Interesting. Who is this guy? I want to watch a video. Do we have a video about them? 35K each. Daniel, send that video. Whoever sent this in here, thank you. Keep sending info if you have good info for us to like watch.
Drone war. Iran's Shahed 136 versus America's Lucas. Drone warfare is changing fast. Here's how Iran and the US compare. Iran's Shahed 136 is a long-range kamikaze drone used in Ukraine and now across the Middle East. It's cheap, delta wing, and carries explosives to crash into targets. The US responded with its own one-way attack drone, called Lucas, inspired by the Iranian model. Though similar in shape and mission, Lucas is manufactured under US standards and tied into advanced communications, systems like satellite links. Both are designed to overwhelm defenses with low-cost numbers, rather than expensive missiles. Which drone do you think is more effective? Comment Shahed or Lucas below. Drone war. Iran's Shahed.
Bro, who y'all rocking with in the comments? It's crazy. Whose drones y'all rocking with is nuts. Something else got deleted. Let me try this. Whose drone y'all rocking with is nuts. I'm not going to comment on that.
So the U.S. attack on Iran has prompted Iran
to... Maybe we can get to this. One more DM. Maybe we can finish the professor video.
In the remote Iraqi desert, a group of local residents discovered a crashed U.S. Lucas drone, a low-cost, one-way attack system modeled on Iran's Shahed 136 that failed during recent strikes on Iranian targets. In the remote Iraqi desert...
Okay, so he doesn't mention the Lucas. This is very true.
Dictatorships that are not popular and unify the Muslim world. Okay? If you look at this map, most of the Muslim world is actually run by dictatorships that are not popular at all, okay? And they're allowed to exist because of the American Empire, right? You go to Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Algeria, these places, they're all run by clients of the American Empire, right? So if you rally the people who hate their governments and you overthrow them, then that makes Iran the leader of the Islamic world. Not just the Shia world, but the Islamic world. And this creates something called Pax Islamica. Okay. That is the end goal, guys. Okay? If you do that, then you don't have to worry about the Americans and the Israelis anymore. Right? So the Israeli game plan, the American game plan, is to fracture Iran into ethnic enclaves, and they'll fight over water for the rest of their lives, and they'll all die. The Iranian game plan is to create a religious war, a crusade, that unifies the Shia people, that overthrows the American Empire and establishes something called the Pax Islamica. All right? All right. So, again, the key is the GCC. All right? So the game plan is this. You have to destroy the GCC. Why? Because the GCC is the linchpin of the American empire.
Is it?
So what the GCC does is it sells oil. Sells oil, and then for US dollars. Where does it put US dollars? It puts US dollars into the American stock market. All right? So this is investments of the UAE, okay, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait into the US financial markets. As you can see, from 2012 up to today, it's been exploding. All right? Because the US financial markets is one of the safest places where you can put your money. The intention is this. The intention is, hey, if I cut off oil,
they don't get any more money.
And these countries no longer have access to US dollars, they're forced to spend whatever resources they have on protecting themselves, okay? And then guess what happens? The stock market collapses. The stock market collapses. The stock market is the real growth engine of the US economy. The entire US economy collapses with it. All right? There are about maybe 7 companies in America that account for about a quarter of stock market growth, okay? These 7 companies, of course, are AI companies. NVIDIA.
So if you destroy the GCC can no longer sell oil to the US, in which they take to invest in slam stocks. If they can't slam stocks, then market crashes. And if market crashes, we're in trouble, is the thesis that's being laid out.
Microsoft, Google, growth, okay? These 7 companies, of course, are AI companies. NVIDIA.
Wait, real quick. So why isn't NVIDIA stock tanking yet? Well, this is what I started the stream with, which is that the market is pricing in 72-hour war. Everything else feels like multi-month, multi-year. What exactly that plays out at is for us to figure out, or I guess for us to observe.
Microsoft, Google, Apple, okay? These are the companies, and then these companies are heavily invested in by the GCC nations. So if these nations are no longer able to invest in the stock market, these companies will collapse in value.
I mean, that's a very there's like a lot of layers to that. Okay, Saudi can't twop NVIDIA, it's gonna collapse. It's like a crazy statement or sensationalized.
And with that, that would lead to economic depression.
And then we're in depression and everybody dies. It's like a little bit.
In America. Okay, it doesn't make sense. All right, so that is the situation for today. Today was just an overview, guys, okay? I know we covered a lot. I know there's a lot to take in, but over the next few weeks, we will explore each issue in depth and really understand what's really going on, okay? All right, so any questions, guys?
Yeah, any questions after that?
Any questions about what?
Also, that was just the intro, by the way. That's the rubric.
We've just learned. Okay.
If other countries such as Italy, France, China, or Russia, they have also joined this war, like, what's the cause of they joined the war? Because of oil or those resources?
Good question.
Okay. That's a good question, okay? So I don't want to spend too much time on this question because we will explore this question as we move along, okay? So the question is, what brings the world into this conflict? And the easy answer is just oil access, energy access, okay? They need to protect their energy supplies. Because remember, it's a very complicated situation because Europe is now fighting Russia. So Europe is not buying any oil resources, energy resources from Russia. Therefore, it depends a lot on the GCC. So the GCC is not providing them energy, then Europe will go bankrupt. Okay, so Europe needs to enter this war on behalf of Americans. Okay, and then you have Russia, which cannot allow Iran to fall because if Iran falls, then they'll come after Russia next. All right, China is actually neutral.
I was zoned out.
Oil resources, energy resources from Russia. Therefore, it depends a lot on the GCC. So the GCC is not providing them energy, then Europe will go bankrupt. Okay, so Europe needs to enter this war on behalf of Americans. Okay, and then you have Russia, which cannot allow Iran to fall because if Iran falls, then they'll come after Russia next. Right? China is actually neutral. China's okay with either scenario. But that's just the way that the Chinese system is set up. Okay? So we're going to explore this question as we move along. But it's a very complicated issue. All right? Okay? And each nation will have its own different strategic interests to consider. Right? And what we need to know, what we need to figure out is that this war in the Middle East is actually connected to the Ukraine war. And as we move along, I'll show you how these two things connect together. Okay? Any other questions, guys? Okay, great. So we'll continue this discussion on Thursday, okay?
I am here with somebody who does not need an introduction, Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO and chairman of
Sanctioned Russian LNG tanker Arctic Metagas, part of Russia's so-called shadow fleet, is on fire off the coast of Malta and Libya. The vessel was attacked by unknown naval drones. Russia's budget problems are about to be solved by the Hormuz closure, so the Ukrainians are taking the war global to offset it. Wait. A Russia-sanctioned LNG tanker, Arctic Metagas, part of Russia's so-called shadow fleet, is on fire off the coast of Malta and Libya. The vessel was attacked. Russia budget problems are about to be solved by the Hormuz closure. Why are their budget problems going to be solved? Oh. Because Europe would buy Russia oil at a high price because the strait is closed. And so Russia's going to make a fuck ton of money.
It's still going. Those flames are huge. I hope everybody got off that thing.
Did we deadass just start World War III for no particular reason? Just because we were bored? No community now, by the way. What about the comments? Should we buy him a coffee? Should we fund the professor? I would pay like a band for him to come on stream. How do we get him on stream? I'd pay a band. I'd probably pay more. I'd probably pay like 5. How old are these? Yeah, I'd probably pay 5, low key. Welcome to the end of the world, banger intro. I'm gonna sound smart at dinner table tonight. My first World War, kind of nervous. I don't know how ancestors went through World War I and World War II without the comment section. Banger. The I told you so episode. I hope everyone had a nice break. Welcome back to the end of the world. I go back to school in a heartbeat if all teachers were like this. When you realize they had to secure Venezuela's oil before they destabilized the Middle East. Also, Buddha head. Yeah, I'm serious. I am serious. What's the Discord? Add me in the Discord. The way he says okay after every bad outcome feels soothing. Bro, you're NFI. I don't know what that means. Game Theory 12. How to survive without food and water. Damn. Don't worry, guys. The Dow's over 50K. Not anymore. Huh. All right. Now here's where we are at BTC. And what are my thoughts on all of this? Okay, you want my completely uneducated first war goer thoughts on what we just learned for the last 2 days? Because I'll give them to you if you want them. I'll give them to you. If you really want them, I'll give them to you. Bro, threadguy looks shocked. I'm not. You think I'm like trolling when I show up to stream? I was fucking stressed today, by the way, because I'm like telling our team, I'm like, guys, I don't know shit about shit when it comes. I know about trading coins. I know about attention economies. I know about charts. I know about order books. I know about what I know about. And geopolitics are not one of them, but we're learning about them. Okay, here's my thought. This is my take. If you actually want it, I'll give it to you. My uninformed take is that it seems, at least, that we have gotten ourselves into a fucking mess against an opponent that is ready to just burn the boats. It doesn't give a fuck. Like, everything that I've learned about Iran over the last 96 hours is that there's no surrender on this. And they're in a position to cause extreme amounts of damage, is what we have just learned about the GCC and how everybody's positioned the U.S. military bases. Like, they could really fuck some shit up if they wanted to, and they want to. And we've sort of forced them to do it. And there's no retreat on this one. And the implications on no retreat, if they fuck up what they could fuck up, seems like pretty significant. I don't know. I'm like thinking about what we just listened to about the GCC, if that gets fucking blown up. It feels significant. And then it also feels like the path for Russia and China to get dragged into this thing feels pretty clean and clear. And the only thing I can think about is like, dude, this doesn't feel like it's going to end in 72 hours, like at all. How is this going to end in 72 hours? And what does ending even mean? I'm still trying to find out. Regime change, but how does that even work? How does that even work? Revolution inside Iran. Okay, but then we just like learned that the middle of Iran where the cities are is where the revolution would come from. And then everybody else that they're trying to attack is like in the outskirts. And so you're going to destroy them too. No? And so now I'm like, damn, if this thing drags on for 3 months and the market thinks it's going to drag on for 3 days, what happens? They keep Hormuz closed, and so oil just rips. Water rips. I don't know. I didn't even know that was a thing until today. I didn't know why water could even rip. Trump said the candidates for new leader of Iran were killed in the attacks. Cool. No, there is no plan. Wait, listen to this clip. Lindsey Graham break it clip. Watch this. This one's crazy, dude.
Moving forward, in a social media post Sunday, President Trump wrote this, quote, hopefully the IRGC and police will peacefully merge with the Iranian patriots and work together as a unit to bring back the country to the greatness it deserves. Is hope the plan for the future of Iran?
No, the future of Iran is going to be determined by the Iranian people. The new Iran, whatever it is, whether it's a cleric or a representative democracy, our goal is to make sure it cannot become, again, the largest state sponsor of terrorism. That's a win for us.
But is there a plan to make sure that happens, Senator? Is there a plan? Does the president have a plan to guarantee that that happens?
No, it's not his job or my job to do this. How many times do I have to tell you? Our job is to make sure Iran is no longer the largest state sponsor of terrorism, to help the people reconstruct a new government, no boots on the ground. We don't own, you know this idea, you break it, you own it? I don't buy that one bit.
Moving forward, in a social media post Sunday, President Trump wrote this, quote.
So then how do we even get there? How do we even get there? And so this thing just drags on and then escalates. Oh, God, I hate when I see notice. No Iranian ships currently operating in the Arabian Gulf. U.S. has destroyed 17 Iranian ships. The United States has struck nearly 2,000 targets in Iran. Donald Trump admin reversed course and revived its defense executive orders targeting major law firm. Okay, nothing. Escalating Middle East tensions have sparked a surge in global demand for U.S. dollar funding. Yeah, so I don't know. It feels to me like this thing is gonna fucking drag on, and what you're supposed to do, trade. Yeah, it's probably bullish for the dollar, bro. Look at DXY. Caught that bitch in a V shape, huh? Rebasement this time. Forget debasement. Rebasement is what we're doing now. So yeah, that's my takes. Is it feels like the market is saying 3 days, and it feels like months, if not escalation. If not, we just got ourselves into something so big we can't pull out of. I mean, what do you guys think? We just learned. I hope this was W stream. Damn, we're at 3 hours and 30 minutes. I hope this was W stream. Like, we're doing some accelerated learning. I feel like we're moving faster than the headlines are, even though they're moving fast. There's a lot of context to make up. But what do you think? How does this Intrini article play out here? Oh my God, I know. What do you guys think? Does anyone have a take? On what? Wild times got to learn on the fly. Yeah, we do. Bro, I just missed the whole stream, bro. You missed so much. I can't even, like. I think Iran will get mauled and he goes to walk out like nothing happened. Nuke react on live stream. Nice. Nice. Brother, I'm making up for fucking. Polymarket has 40% for ceasefire. I'm still on stream, dude. It's insane. How the fuck am I still on stream? All right, what pie markets do we have? Okay, well, they closed the Strait of Hormuz. So it's not closed. But everyone says it's closed. But fuck that, right? Fuck what I read on Twitter. Let's just like... Ceasefire, okay. By June 30th, bro. What the fuck? That's a long time. Oh boy, U.S. forces enter Iran by when? Is this boots on the ground? Physically enter. God. Physically enter. Do I always start streaming at 3:30? Yes. Well, yeah. For all intents and purposes, yes. I just don't have that much volume. I might never miss salt. Whose first time watching is it today? By the way, for the new people, if you want, I have a Telegram that I fucking post slop in. It's kind of like our hub now. It's kind of a mess, but if you want to join, you're welcome to. At Gatekeep, I'll never tweet it. I just share it to like the OGs. TBH, if you're not in here by yet, I can't really help you too much, but I'll share it on YouTube too. Those guys over there never get a fucking bone. The YouTube chat gets nothing. They just get fucking boots on the ground means this thing goes on forever. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Chat. No stream Thursday, stream tomorrow. Do you want to just do more war coverage tomorrow? Like, did you like this, what we just did today? I know it's not our normal stream, but like we talk about what's happening, bro. It's what we do. This was good. It's my accountant, Malcolm. What's the time there? It's 4:11. No, it's not true. What the fuck? What time is it? It's 7:15. Hi. Malcolm's mom says hi. Everyone say hi to Malcolm's mom right now. Everyone say hi to Malcolm's mom right now. Tell her she's awesome and she's beautiful and we love her. Also, say hi to my mom. Tell my mom the same thing. Thank you. Hi to all moms. We got any moms in the chat? Sorry. Okay, question. Any geopolitics experts in here that would like to say some shit to me or have some recommendations for what we should do tomorrow? Like, do you have any, or are you happy with the direct, with me just running it? Just run this shit? Let me ask you this. Yeah, I want your take. Let me ask you this. Bro made us all AI experts and asked us any geopolitics experts can't keep up. Is there anywhere you're watching that is sick coverage? Because I'm down to watch it for like tomorrow. I just watched Breaking Points and The Professor. Those are my go-tos. I have a trader coming on tomorrow, by the way. Really, really, really good trader tomorrow. And you guys know no stream on Thursday. I'm getting fucking my shoulder injected. It's brutal. I'm sorry, guys. Unless it gets so bad that I wake up on Thursday and I have to. You guys really care about the stream that much? Unless I wake up on Thursday and it's like, if Bitcoin's at 75K, I'll stream. And if China's involved, I'll stream. Otherwise, I can't stream. And Thursday's going to be brutal, I think. Like, I'm going to be in so much pain on Thursday that it's not even going to be funny. It's going to be a bad stream on Friday. I'm going to be, like, dying. My shoulder's going to be inflamed. Maybe, I don't want to say Sunday stream. It's not going to happen. So, you'll get Friday, but it might just be rough. You'll get Friday, though. Chat, 3 hours and 30 minutes on geopolitics today. If there's one thing I'm going to do, it's monitor the fucking situation. Okay? If there's one thing I'm going to do, it's that. Up to date, what's happening, what you need to know. There's a million things being thrown at us, but I'm going to do my fucking best. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow, gentlemen. This is what I do. I love y'all. Peace.